What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Juices Loose podcast number 118. We're back. And no, I wasn't on the shitter for the people in the live chat.
He totally was. Don't listen to him.
He's dropping a Terminator deuce.
He's doing it live, actually.
We waiting for tea, and then I brought up football for some reason and
to ruin my day.
But yeah, so we're back. Team Juice is here. We're gonna get right into it. No need for introductions. I'm gonna start by asking everybody if they had any Black Friday pickups. So we'll start with Terrell, since I know you had one. Anything that's relevant to the podcast?
Yeah. So I had Best Buy had a 4K Samsung monitor on sale for like $250. So I said, fuck it, let's pick that up, because I had like a sub HD monitor before. And I was like, well, if I'm getting a new one, I might as well get to the next possible quality boost, which would be that 4K greatness. And Juice's first question is, you gonna pick up a PS4 Pro? And I was like, not anytime soon.
Hell to the no.
It's other than that, I've been debating, and I'm still debating right now, if I need to pick up some Steam games, because like all of them are on fucking sale. And I guess for a quick gaming update, I beat Pokemon Sun this weekend, which is
wow.
Wow.
Robert, you didn't understand what dedication is.
Wowzers.
Robert probably
about what you've been playing.
Yeah, Robert played it for 2 hours, and he moved on to the next game.
Yeah, I already know.
Why are we
The
messing
4K
with
monitor looks really fucking good. People.
Yeah,
Looks really
And,
good. Go ahead.
well, we played Friday night Splatoon, and I talked you into playing Smash, because I told you, like, to me, my buddy's 4K TV, Smash had the biggest impact, like visually, like over the other games. So I had convinced you to play Smash through your Wii U on the 4K, and if you want to
so good. It looks so good.
Is it a smart TV or is it dumb?
Apparently, mine's is dumb. I'm sorry.
It's not a
Well,
smart
but
TV.
it's more of a
It's a
PC
monitor.
No.
Yeah,
It's a
Oh, it's a
monitor.
monitor.
Yeah, it's a
I
monitor.
missed that.
it's a dumb monitor.
And in case there's people like Robert out there that doesn't know the difference between a TV and a monitor.
Oh, here we go.
I was I didn't understand.
Camera. What is a camera?
Wait. Robert, what did you not understand is my question.
No, see, to me, like, I always thought that, like, I knew monitors were mainly just for computers.
But what's the difference? The
I
difference
feel
is
like
TVs
he's not sure right now.
Yeah,
He's not
TVs
sure
have-
what a computer is.
TV's got pixels.
let me just clear it up for him. TVs have built-in tuners for you hook an antenna, you can get TV, you can get cable through, or not cable, you get over-the-air antenna. They all have speakers. Monitors are just a monitor. It has HDMI port, display port, and usually don't have speakers, and they don't have TV tuners.
Oh,
And they have tend to have
contrast settings. That's about it.
Yeah, you don't get a lot of options, but you do get quick refresh rates. So, like, almost no input lag.
see, that's the thing is that,
Hashtag
like,
juice.
it'd be nice, but I want like a big TV. Like, I want it like,
You're trying to
giant.
overcompensate for something. That's what that is.
I want a movie theater.
Well, then you need a television.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm.
Are you sure you know? Do you really know? Robert?
I'm not sure. So, Robert, did you any pickups, Black Friday pickups or anything?
You would think I would pick up like 20 games, but no, I did not pick up anything really. And I was so tempted. There were a few TVs, it was like a 50-inch and 55 for like 400. I'm like, oh my god, 4K smart.
Oh my god.
And I'm like, do it. And I was like, no, do it.
He's arguing with himself.
And I ended up not doing it because I want to get a 65-inch. I wasn't big. So, and I was saving up for the Vive also.
65-inch. It's gonna look terrible where you're gonna sit.
Yeah, but I mean, I like sitting up close to places anyway, so it's
Still,
kind of fine.
if I stand close to my TV, it looks terrible. But if I sit in the recommended distance, it looks amazing.
Yeah, you want that for like when you get an apartment, man.
That's the thing is that, like, for me, I was also saving so I could get the Vive, but then I was like, damn, man, even when in 2 weeks I was calculating my paycheck, I'm like, I still wouldn't have enough, and so I'm like, Well then,
Mom.
freak it, I'm still get. I was
So
like,
your gold Mario amiibo for $80. Oh, wait.
Oh,
Get it for 13.
It's
That's what I
over
said.
80 cents right now.
I'd say, you know what? Forget it. I'm a wait on the Vive. I'll just because Christmas and my birthday is coming up, so that's a lot of money. and so there you go. I'll probably get the Vive in a couple of months, something like that.
How much
I
is a
want- I
Vive
wanna
now?
play
Like
VR.
$800, right? How much
It's
are
still
those?
800.
$800.
It hasn't dropped in price. It came out in April. And are there any games scheduled to release in the near future? Like new
Oh
games?
well, a
for-
bunch of games on Steam all the time. They always got those like
But
every
not
game.
just, I'm not talking about little add-ons like the Batman VR on the PlayStation. I'm talking about
Yeah.
real games, new games coming down the pipeline for the Vive.
Look, man, you're talking about that's not significant. We got a Game Awards show that's giving out awards for DLC. Like it's a
Oh,
game,
God.
son. So
Brandon, they did that last year too.
They
right.
did, yeah, they did.
Yeah,
But,
I mean,
So that's
So,
a game.
I just want to play VR because it's so. I mean,
I need an
so
excuse.
amazing.
man.
I can't
I got to
wait.
tell you, I had to take an emergency flight home about 2 weeks ago back to Denver for like one day. And when I was coming back, again, I have not tried VR yet. And when I was coming back, I was actually in DIA about to take my flight back home, Denver International Airport. And there was this Facebook, like, kind of, not a booth, it was almost like a storefront that was inside of the airport that I had never seen there before in 20 years living in Denver. And the whole purpose of the Facebook thing was to get people playing VR. It was like a big Facebook plastered storefront. And they had these girls there with clipboards to sign you up. And you could see people standing in there with VR things on.
Nice.
And I was so tempted to just be like, I mean, I got to check it out. I wasn't like really having the time or like the mindset to do it, but I thought it was interesting that in an airport, there was a Facebook VR display thing that people could just walk up and start trying.
That's
I was
awesome.
so tempted. But
I
Oh,
really
man.
think
I
think
passed.
all you guys would love it. I really, if you tried what I
Dude, I've
tried,
tried
the HTC Vive. No.
Yes.
I mean the HTC Vive, the full body, like when you're
Really
walking around and stuff.
pushing
It's
Well, that's
so
different.
amazing.
That's
Don't tell me
different,
what
but
to
you're
do,
still-
Robert.
You're still
I never
gonna-
liked DIA. Like I went through there.
Oh, DIA Airport?
Yeah,
Yeah.
on my way to San Francisco, and stopped off there. And I didn't like the fact that it was called DIA. It was too close to DOA.
Hey, man, I like that game. Fuck you.
It's
I'm
not-
talking
it's-
about being
it's
dead on
never
arrival
fun.
and that
It
damn
stands
plane.
for dead if arrived.
Last time I
mind.
landed there, it was 80-mile-an-hour winds, and the wings about touched
Oh my
the
goodness!
runway before the wheels. It was
Holy
My lungs
shit,
were in
bro.
my throat.
it was
Yeah,
crazy.
I had my girlfriend and I restart Lost because she'd never seen it. So I've watched that plane crash. You know, that happens like 7 times. In the last couple of days, I'm like, oh my God, man, I don't need to fly ever again.
So anyway, Robert, you know that VR is going to be great for you.
Oh, I can't wait. It's
For-
I can't tell if there was sarcasm in
weeks.
that voice or not.
Yeah,
I mean,
I know.
if the man's excited, I say rock on with your $800 purchase.
Well, I mean, maybe by the time I get it, it also, I will say that on Amazon, there's like, third-party sellers that sell it for like 700, 650 sometimes.
Mhm.
So,
Interesting.
why not? So,
Because it costs
I
money, that's why.
yeah, but like I
I mean,
want to play it.
I'd say
So bad.
while you are young enough that you don't have to worry about bills, man, you got the money to buy something. Just go for it. Just enjoy it while you can, because eventually those purchases are going to go out the window.
Yeah.
I've made purchases like that too, and you got to learn lessons.
The hard way.
Yeah, you can't be told a
Nobody
lesson.
can tell you. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
anyway, how about you, Rob? Did you pick up anything?
I did not. As far as like actual shopping, I had to work on Friday. I even went into work on Thanksgiving because there's an option for overtime holiday pay. So I worked on Thanksgiving, and I had to go back to work on Friday. So I didn't do any shopping. I looked on Amazon a little bit and was really disappointed with the sales, but I've never seen good holiday sales from Amazon anyway, to tell you the truth. I don't know if I'm crazy. I mean, I looked at like a couple of games that I wanted to get, mostly Dishonored, which is actually really cheap right now, but I didn't pull the plug on that. And there are 2 Dragon Ball games that I want to get. I really want Xenoverse 2 and this random Fusions 3DS game that came out of nowhere I had no idea about. That's apparently really hard to find. Say what?
I say it's all right.
Do you have it or have you played it?
I've messed around with it and I've seen some of the Japanese footage. It's pretty much like Xenoverse but on the 3DS.
See, that's cool, man. And it's still, I can get the 20% discount. So, I mean, I looked at those games, but it was interesting because I found Xenoverse 2 early in the day, and it was on sale for $25. I was like, oh, shit. So I put that in my queue, and I was like, I'm going to think about this for like a couple of hours while I'm working. And then I went back later to probably buy it, and it had already gone back up like $9. So I was like, forget this. This is just a big old mess. So long story short, I sadly did not pick up anything for Black Friday. But there's a couple of games coming out in the next few weeks I want. So I was like, I'll just pace myself for now.
Yeah, they usually don't have sales on games that much. I go there for Blu-ray sales. Like,
yeah, I mean, I looked even at some of the movies I've had in my queue for a while, and nothing's cheaper. No, I didn't see any like package deals or anything. I don't know if you saw that on Amazon.
No, I just went to the 10 and under category, and there was thousands of movies for $6, and I picked up 3 of them. So
I should have looked, man, but nothing jumped out at me, and it's fine. And I don't need any other like hardware, and I've got like a nice TV, and my other stuff's fine. So I looked, but nothing to buy for me.
All right, how about you, Mezza-T? Anything?
First of all, hashtag Terminator Deuce. Second of all, I was still in a food coma on Friday, so I didn't get anything on Black Friday because I couldn't get off my black ass. So no, I didn't get anything. And
you missed an opportunity to fight moms in the malls.
Yeah, I wasn't looking forward to that. I thought about it for a good probably half hour about going out there, but I was like, nah, I'm just gonna chill.
Mine was like a last minute thing.
And that's what I did.
All right, yeah. All I did was buy 3 Blu-rays for $6 a piece, and nothing exciting, but it was a couple movies I've been wanting, and then one I had.
What are the movies? I
got Keanu, which is hilarious, one of the funniest.
Oh, very funny.
I've still never seen it.
10 years.
Yeah.
The Last Samurai, which I had on DVD, but I've always wanted the Blu-ray, just because of the cinematography and stuff. And that DVD it looks pretty ugly compared to I did a little comparison, but
so it wasn't whitewashed.
No,
I feel like even Blu-ray is. But
he was waiting for that one.
That's such a ridiculous thing because I mean, there's so many Japanese actors and Ken Watanabe
yeah.
However you want to say it. I always say Watanabe, but
well, you're wrong, Juice.
Watanabe. What is it?
It's Watanabe, I believe.
No, Juice is pronouncing it right.
No, he's right.
Watanabe. That's what
it's Watanabe.
Yeah, like he's had a pretty successful career since being featured in that movie.
Yeah, he's great.
So, but anyway, then I got Jupiter Ascending just because it's a good demo disc for audio. It's one of the best. It's probably the best sounding Blu-ray I've ever heard. So
it definitely was a terrible movie, but the visuals were great.
But for $6, it's got some good demo material. So
it's got good audio. You said?
Oh yeah.
So the part where that creature goes,
I don't remember that.
Really good. Huh?
I don't remember that.
It's the black lady, like what do you call it, commander chick or whatever? She's like issuing orders, and then all of a sudden this elephant creature goes.
Oh yeah.
What?
I wasn't paying.
What?
That's a weird ass movie.
What the fuck?
It's a weird movie.
That is such a weird movie.
But you gotta see it just for that.
But I didn't think it was horrible. I didn't mind it, but
it's got redeeming qualities. But it's not.
I probably will never watch the whole.
It's a cluster fudge of ideas. Like there's some good ideas, but it's just way too many in one place.
They wanted to create their own like Star Wars universe, I think. And what they did is they did the opposite of what George Lucas did, where he took his one story and split it into 3 movies.
3 movies, exactly.
They took all their stories and
squeezed it into one movie. Yeah.
And I think that's what they did.
That's why they messed up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for $6, it's always nice to have, good demo disc for people want to like. Here, let me hear how your theater sounds.
Check out this Mila Kunis and Chad. What's his name? Face do stuff.
Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum. Not that's his name.
I'm gonna Channing all over your Tatum.
And he wasn't the worst. Like he wasn't the worst.
Jamie Foxx.
He wasn't the worst actor in the movie.
No, he was not. No,
he was actually pretty decent.
He was way better than Mila Kunis, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, speaking of Black Friday deals and sales, Terrell shared a photo of his trip to Best Buy. I went to a couple stores on Saturday and saw quite a few PlayStation Pros sitting in the old display cases. And Terrell had at his Best Buy, there was looked like about 30 of them just stacked there sitting
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, it's like 30 or almost 40 probably.
So my question is, and I also forgot to mention that I had a PlayStation 4 Slim Uncharted bundle in my shopping cart on Amazon for a full 24 hours.
So did I. So did I.
And
What happened to it? What happened to it, Juice?
it's still sitting there.
Oh, was that the 250 one,
Yeah,
right?
and I think that's
Yeah.
still a good price. But
Definitely.
so for $250 you get the Slim with Uncharted 4 physical copy.
Yeah.
For $400 you get the Pro with no game. If you, let's say you just added Uncharted, because I think a lot of people would want that game if they're going to buy a PlayStation 4 Pro, or if it's their first console. So you're looking at a $200 difference between the two. And
Yeah.
my question is, what is Sony thinking? Because they're really just competing with themselves there. And I think the Slim's going to, I predict the Slim's going to outsell it by more than 10-1 this for Black Friday. So what do you guys think of Sony's strategy, in quotations? And then plus they got PSVR, which they had 2 of them at the retailer I go to, and they had 2 before Black Friday. I don't know if they sold any and replenished or whatever. So it's seeming a little bit of a confused.
Bro.
Yeah.
What do you guys?
Let me just say. I'm gonna
Here
tell
we
you
go.
exactly what this Sony situation feels like.
Let's
It feels
go.
like Sega 1996.
Oh,
That's where I was gonna go.
Oh my
Oh, okay.
chest.
I'm gonna leave it right there and let you. If you want to
Go ahead.
You're right. Well, I mean that's just it. I mean, it feels like
Sega CD, Sega 32X.
yeah, Sega CD, Sega
Saturn,
32X, Sega Saturn, Sega.
Yeah,
There's a lot of
it's-
stuff that was competing with each other, and none of it sold because of that. Like it was too confusing in the market, and I expect that from Sega, but not from Sony. Sony's usually a lot better at that kind of stuff.
They
I'm a
have
little
been
bit
this generation.
surprised. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a little
I think
surprised.
when you talk about their strategy, Juice, it's interesting because I think their strategy is kind of the opposite of what you said. I do think when you talk about the Slim outselling 10-1, I think it won't be nearly that high, but I definitely think it's going to outsell the Pro. And the problem is, I think that their strategy was, we're going to have the Slim to make the Pro seem more valuable. I think that's what they wanted. And right now, I think it's just failing. I think that strategy is probably going to fail. I'm sure there's that small market for the Pro, and they had an idea that they wanted to try upgrading their super successful console, but I think it's really just having the opposite effect, like you said, where really the Pro is making the Slim seem like a better deal.
Mhm.
And Sony's even hurting themselves beyond that by, like you said, throwing in their top tier game for free with the Slim. If anything, that probably should have been in the Pro to make that $400 purchase make more sense to people. But
Yeah.
I think they had a strategy, and the strategy is just really bad.
Here's the thing, we get it, but even for the most part, it doesn't move us as far as the differences between PS4 Pro and PS4. But what about the average person that just looks in the Mac or looks in a newspaper and sees the Pro and sees the PS4 regular Slim model, and they're like, well, I don't really have a 4K TV. I don't really have that, and the benefits. I mean, I'm saving $150 here, right? About
That's what
depends
it, I
on-
mean, face
That's
value.
what it
but
started. Yeah,
if you
and
need
it's
a
just
game-
and I get a game. It's just weird. I don't know what they were thinking. They're usually a lot better at marketing than this. It's kind of surprising.
I was gonna add on to it because I was in the thick of it that night when everybody was in there, and Best Buy had a fucking line all across the damn building.
Terrell was drowning in PS4 Pros.
Oh no, it was fun. Anyway, you know what the sad thing is? Well, there's a few things. The first thing I want to bring up is, it's not like the Nintendo didn't have the 3DS have their few variations on sale, or the Xbox One had the Minecraft bundle. I think they had a few bundles. I
They had
forget
a
the other ones.
Battlefield 1 for $250.
There we go. But see, the difference between those situations and the PlayStation 4 Pro situation is that the Pro needs to justify its fan base for developers to be more willing to add on to games, because it probably costs some level of money to keep adding on and improving all these games to the Pro list. And because you made the Slim way too appealing and you didn't oversell the Pro, the Pro will now get less sales, and the sales of the Pro specifically mean something. Whereas it doesn't matter which Xbox One S bundle you get because it's just the Xbox One S. Or the same thing with the 3DS.
Hold on. It's just in. That same bundle's $212 right now.
I was about to say that.
Buy that shit, bro. Buy it.
I might
What are you talking about, the Pro?
Grab that now.
Yeah, $212.
No, not the Pro.
With the Uncharted 4.
Uncharted is $212.50. $212.50.
I can't turn that down.
Buy it.
Well, let me.
Two purchases of a PS4 Pro on the podcast right now, bro.
That's half a PS4 Pro, bro.
That's
PS4
crazy.
The last thing I want to say before someone else can talk. The one thing I give Microsoft a lot of credit for, and granted, it makes sense, that when people were buying 4K TVs up and down in Best Buy that night. So it's like you would think with the 4K TV, you think somebody would be like, oh, well, the Pro can quote unquote put games out in 4K. Why not grab that? But a console I kept seeing all across the damn store, whether it was in the computer section, the gaming section, or the TV section, was the Xbox One S. That's why I kept seeing it. And that's consistent marketing, because if you're grabbing a TV and you see a game console that plays 4K Blu-rays,
for $250,
you would think.
Yeah. But see, and then so I give Microsoft some credit there because they knew how to market it. I was like, I saw that thing 3 or 4 times when I wasn't even looking for it. I'm going over there to get a dang monitor, and I'm like, dang.
They're really
I keep seeing it. The Pro's just kind of sitting out there by itself in that one area. And granted, the computer section, Microsoft PCs, that makes sense why it would be cross-promoted, but still.
Yeah, well, I'm surprised because I keep seeing the Xbox One S everywhere for a bunch of bundles. Battlefield 1, the Minecraft, a bunch of them for like $250. It's super cheap.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah, that's where competition's a good thing because Xbox had to respond and they had to sell the One S with a game for $250 to match Sony. And that's where competition helps there, but it's just you said people were buying 4K TVs. Every time I go to Best Buy, there's at least one person pulling up their vehicle and getting a 4K TV loaded up. But the problem is the same thing I had when I was trying to start a business of installing home theaters and stuff. People will buy the TV. They have no problem spending. Back then, you couldn't get a big screen for under $1,500. But when it came to a Blu-ray player or just a freaking HDMI cord, they don't want to spend more than $5 or $10. And it's like, dude, get this. You bought a nice TV. You have a nice Blu-ray player. You can't spend $50 on a Monster brand cable that's warranted for life. You got to go.
They just don't want to believe that they need to purchase more than they already did with the TV.
And then it's like, oh, well, this guy at Best Buy was telling me he has an old LED 65-inch. It was $4,000. He bought it, but he was in there because it dropped $500, and he was in there for the price. He had the 60-day low price guarantee, so he's in there getting his $500 credit. And he's like, "Yeah, this is a great TV." And he's like, "Yeah, I just picked up a sound bar for it." And I look, and he's got this Samsung. It's $150. And he's talking about having it for his game nights or, football night. Football, he's an older guy. The dude spent $3,500 on a TV, but he's going super cheap. He was arguing with the price over a sound bar. And it's it was a $30 difference. I know you're trying to save money, but it's just one of those things. People, they'll spend money on one thing, but then they don't want to pay for the necessities or things that you should be a little more open to. So I was just I was done with that kind of mindset. It's if you're going to buy something nice, you should get nice stuff to go with it, in my opinion. So anyway, I think that has something to do with why, you spend that on a TV. Then you see a PS4 for $250, you see one for $400, still probably going to get the one for $250.
Yeah,
because it undershoots it. At least with the Xbox One S, that was the main console they were pushing. And you had the whole 4K, Blu-rays and DVDs, which is not DVDs, but 4K Blu-rays that you can buy and play on the thing. Which, ironically enough, I don't think I wouldn't have said it meant a lot to begin with, but realistically, considering a lot of people use their PlayStation 3s for Blu-rays, I'm thinking that probably would have helped them if they had it included in the PS4 Pro.
Oh,
I
definitely.
think so.
Well, the UHD.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
dropped. They missed.
that would have
they
been
missed the
helping,
boat.
helping them differentiate it from why you would want to get that.
Yeah,
You
I mean,
also
but the
took
thing
a
is,
leg
they
under
want to sell
Microsoft.
their standalone. That's the problem. Sony wants to sell their standalone UHD player. And
yeah, and then I mean that's
stupid.
another $200-300 purchase. Whereas the
Right.
Xbox One, you get it all in one, and it makes a little more sense to go with a 4K TV, and then you got the HDR gaming, which it's only 1080, but the HDR or whatever is I haven't seen it in person, so I can't really say if HDR is all it's cracked up to be, but it's just another little selling point, a little talking point, and I just think that the Pro, whether that's Ultra HD Blu-ray, I don't think it's going to take off. I think it's going to crash and burn like 3D, but
But whatever.
it's
Sony
still
just
nice
got
to
my
have.
money, so
Yeah, it was $225 with tax.
I'm a PS4 gamer now. Oh boy.
Oh, you
Did you guys
100%
both just
bought
buy
it?
one?
You just
Yeah.
got it.
Just got it.
Whoa!
That's badass, man. Welcome
Celebration.
to the
That's
family.
Juices lose first. 2 people bought a console.
Jesus.
I just got to find.
Don't
oh,
crackhead prices, man. I had to get that.
I should get on and buy like a really dope laptop right now just to like buy something. I feel out of the loop.
I mean, $225 with Uncharted, the physical copy. I mean,
That's pretty incredible, man.
That
That
is
really is
incredible.
incredible.
I mean, I'll probably play it, but if I
You'll
wanted
play
to,
You
I could,
have to
finally-
play it.
I could
Hey,
get
look,
$40
Juice, you finally
for it.
got a superior system. Right?
Now
You
you
did.
could play the Nathan Drake collection
Now you're a Sony
with the
pony.
DualShock 4.
Why would I want to do that?
It still got bad controls.
Ooh.
Yeah, we'll see. And it's one of those
Savage tonight,
for the
bro.
price I just paid for it. It's like I could probably after the holidays, if I decided like, yeah, this isn't the system for me, could probably sell it on Craigslist for $200.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not that big of a risk, but anyway,
It's so. Oh, no, go ahead. Never mind.
I was just gonna move us forward here.
Yeah,
So.
that price, you'll keep it. You'll keep it. Ain't it?
I mean, I said I'd never pay over $300 for another Sony or Microsoft system, and I mean that's almost without the tax. It was $212.
I mean, you could. I bet in a lot of stores, a used PS4 sells for about $200. So
Yeah.
you got a brand new one with Uncharted, and you know what? You got your game Horizon coming out in a couple of months, so now you can play
Yeah.
that.
You
Yeah.
go
You
get
can
Sunstone
play
once on
Until
one
Dawn.
console.
Okay. All right.
You send it to me, I'll play it.
Yeah, that's how that's gonna go.
I'll send it back. But
Ooh.
so anyway, I just
You'd be
think
like, Hayden, who?
I'm just that just reinforced even more that the Slim will outsell the Pro 10-1. I mean, I'm thinking that we're going to see numbers over 1 million for PS4s, and if there's a breakdown, I would be shocked if the Pro is over 100,000 or 150,000 for the Black Friday and stuff. So we'll see, but I just think it's an odd, like we've just talked about. I think it's an odd to be competing with yourselves and the PSVR sitting there, and it's like we didn't talk about the fact that the Pro, a couple more games added Pro features, and the frame rate's worse. There's like 3 or 4 games now where the frame rate's not significantly, but it's
noticeably worse.
10 to 15 frames per second slower in the 4K mode.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things. I think it was a bad idea, and they should have waited till they had a title like Horizon, a flagship game or something, to release with it at the same time, instead of just playing your games you already own, you can now play with potentially 4K upscaling. I just think it was a bad decision. So let's move on from that to something I wanted to talk about last week, but I completely forgot to bring it up because it was almost to the day. It was like 2 days past the 4-year anniversary of the Wii U. So the Wii U's 4 years old in a week now.
My homie.
Rob, you shared your story of how you picked up your Wii U back
my
on
miserable
one
story.
of your videos where you
Yep.
were sick.
Yeah.
No,
I wasn't sick. I was about to die.
Yeah.
I was
Jesus.
literally. I should be dead today, but I.
So
stayed
Robert, does
alive
that mean you're
for the Wii U.
immortal?
Say again.
Does that mean you're immortal right now?
I think I am.
Man.
I think Nintendo literally made me immortal. So
A God
you
walks
survive-
among
Miyamoto-
us, folks.
So, but sorry for the Nintendo fans who listen to this, have to hear us, purchasing PlayStation 4s live on air.
How dare you?
God.
Oh, it's so
But,
painful. Come on, what?
I'm just kidding. No one said anything. But anyway, Wii U's 4 years old. I just went to Myers, which is a 24-hour store like Walmart, and it was me and one other guy. Got there about 10 o'clock, and I was playing my 3DS, and I wasn't sure what the reaction or I didn't pre-order it because, I didn't know where. It was one of those things where GameStop was like, yeah, you can, then they're sold out, but I was like, I'll just try going to the midnight release, a store that's open 24 hours. And right before the system, or right before midnight, one other person came, and they had 3 deluxe and 2 of the white. And so yeah, I was gonna get the white one the whole time because I was like, I don't remember why at the time. I don't know. It was because I didn't want
Save
Nintendo
money?
Land. I didn't think I wanted Nintendo Land, and I was like, you know what? I just get the extra memory and get the deluxe or the digital deluxe program. And so yeah, my story was pretty lame, and that came out on a Sunday, so I had to work the next day, and it was kind of a bummer because the install for the update only took about 40 minutes for me, and then it was ready to go.
That's pretty quick.
I didn't New Super Mario Brothers U. They didn't get any, so I only had Nintendo Land, and then the next day I went to GameStop and picked up New Super Mario Brothers U. So. Yeah, it wasn't nothing exciting. There wasn't like a huge line or anything. It was a little bit of a sign of things to come because I was like, man, there's only one other person here. So later, years later, the Amiibo lines were ridiculously long, and the Wii U itself, was just me and another guy most of the night for 2 hours, and then the third person showed up right at midnight. So, anybody have any exciting Wii U story for buying it at launch? Or I know Terrell didn't get it at launch.
No, I didn't.
T, I don't remember how you acquired
Yeah, I didn't get it at launch.
I can
either.
share. I
got
can share the quick version of my story, but I'll wait to see if you guys have something.
I bought 3 at launch.
Oh my god!
And,
3 of them? You bought
Jesus.
3
Wii U?
Wii U's?
Yeah,
Oh my God.
because I'm
You
cool
mad,
like
man.
that, man.
You sold them, didn't
He
you?
got all this
Gotta
damn
look out for the
movie.
fam.
Did
Damn
you
movie.
sell them or something?
No, I gave them to family members.
Oh,
Oh, okay. So
did
give
you
us some
sell them
gifts.
to your family members?
No.
What's that? Yeah, T making all this money with all these movies he's making and shit. I wish I had that kind of money.
We got the next Bill Bergo right here buying Wii U. He's like,
I know. Fuck.
Did you get all deluxe ones, or
Yeah, they were all deluxe. Yeah,
are they?
I don't really have a story. I wish I had a. Like,
Did
a
they?
cool story,
Do they
but
play their Wii U still, or
It's
not?
pretty easy. Yeah, they're still always on them.
All right.
That's cool.
Well,
Yeah,
I
it
know
was,
for me, what was nice is it was Christmas, right? And I didn't get the Wii U for Christmas. I kept asking, please, can I get the Wii U for Christmas? And I never got it, but I did get like $200, like just in a card. And I'm like, oh my God, I could buy the Wii U now because I had an extra 100 with me. I was like, oh my God. I'm like, you basically bought me the Wii U.
I think I remember like the excitement of like, hooking it up and like, going through the 10-hour install of the no, it's fine. It was like like a little bit over an hour for the first day.
Yeah, mine was
Patch
probably an
or
hour
whatever
and a
they call
half,
that.
maybe close to 2.
Maybe it was closer to 2 then. Never
Mine
mind.
was like 40 minutes tops. It's crazy. But
No,
I
well,
don't remember.
I can't remember. I'm thinking it was a little bit over an hour. Anyway, I just remember like because I what did I get day one? I got Black Ops 2. Wasn't that there day one?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Black Ops 2, Ninja Gaiden 3, Razor's Edge.
Ninja Gaiden.
Obviously,
Ninja Gaiden.
got New Super Mario Brothers U, and I got a lot of stuff. Assassin's Creed. I don't know what I was doing getting that. Assassin's Creed 3 was so boring. I never even finished it.
Did you get Zombie U?
Darksiders 2 and Zombie U.
Gotcha.
And I just remember getting on like Black Ops 2 and like on the Miiverse, right? I mean, Miiverse was there day one, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
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 I remember like some people on there like, oh my God, Wii U, Black Ops 2, best Call of Duty ever.
it was.
It's a whole new generation.
People were just excited about like everything.
Mhm.
Even some stuff that had been around for like 10 years on other consoles.
Yeah, but the Miiverse, like, how cool was that first day though? because you're like,
Well,
whoa,
it was
there's
very
a
cool.
community just
Yeah,
for this
people
game
were
I can talk
really excited about Miiverse and just going in and posting. And back then, people were like posting to get likes and stuff, and
Oh yeah.
Nintendo kind of clamped down on that stupid crap. Well,
back in the
if
day.
you love your Wii U, like this, you know.
Yeah,
kinda-
well, remember
Yeah.
they used to have a like count, and then they were
yeah, I used to have a like counter, and they got rid of that.
Is that gone?
yeah, they
Yeah, it's
removed
gone.
Oh
it.
my god, I never get on Miiverse, so I wasn't even sure.
Yes,
It's been a
has
while.
been on for like a while
been a while.
since I got banned.
It's probably been like 2 years.
It's probably been 2 years since that's been gone.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say it's, again, I shared the long version of my story on my video, which everyone totally should watch, because it was kind of like my farewell to the Wii U, because the poor sad thing will be done so soon. And but like the gist of my story was that there was quite a few people that reserved Wii U's at the GameStop I had reserved it at, which mine was in a mall. There was no midnight. So we had to get in line. They were opening really early for it, so we had to get in line that way. And I took a week off. I had a week of PTO I saved and used to have that whole first like 5 or 6 day stretch of the Wii U releasing off, so I could just sit and nerd out with my Nintendo console. And I was at my last day of work, and I got so deathly sick within a matter of like 2 minutes. And like I left early. I almost killed myself driving home. And I lived by myself at the time too, in a house in Denver. And I basically just struggled the whole night. I was like throwing up and dry heaving, and I totally should have probably like, you know, gone to the hospital. And I didn't, because I was a dumbass dude just living alone. Like, I got to play the Wii U tomorrow. I have to do it. So I survived, and I ended up going in the morning, and I probably got there like at 7 in the morning, 6:37 in the morning. And I was the third person in line, I think, second or third person. And between like 20, 25 people were there. So it sounds like we actually had a way bigger gathering of people to pick them up than any of you guys saw. But we were there first thing in the morning that Sunday. There was, you know, a whole bunch of people, and mine was reserved and paid off. And I just picked it up and went home sickly and played. I picked up Zombie U and Call of Duty. And then I picked up Assassin's Creed 3, I want to say the very next day or the day after that. And then I got New Super Mario Brothers U later in like the week after that. And those were my first couple games. But there was some excitement at my GameStop. It was cool. I was glad to see like 20 people waiting in line to pick up a Wii U. It was cool.
Yeah, I remember getting on Call of Duty a couple weeks later. I think I rented it first and seeing only like 1,800 players online, and hearing that the first night there was like literally 20 people total worldwide.
Nah, there was more than that. It was a couple hundred for sure. I played it that whole night.
Me too.
Well, somebody showed a screen cap, and it was like worldwide. It was they were like one of the first people online.
Yeah, I could have been that.
But yeah, I mean, the Miiverse itself is what got my first video I made and really started my gaming YouTubing career. But let's talk about some of our favorite things about the system, or you know, this 4 years, whether it's a specific item, you know, thing, or it's a feeling or whatever. But for me, off TV play, something I didn't think I had needed or wanted, and it's definitely my favorite thing about the Wii U. Because Saturday during college football, which I don't get super into, I just sit there and I was tinkering with the Mario Maker level, then playing a bunch of levels that I had bookmarked. And then yesterday, because my team wasn't playing, so I watched some NFL, and I can keep track of the game and then still mess around. And for me, like, I'm so glad the Switch is going to have that, you know, capability, because that's definitely my favorite thing. And then I think the Miiverse would be 2, and then just the great games we got. Nintendo really going all in with their exclusives and putting some really good effort. We didn't get every genre or franchise we wanted, but the ones we got were pretty sensational. So those are my favorite things. Ms. T, you got? There's probably going to be some similar ones, but
yeah, those things for sure. But it also has some amazing apps like Google Street View.
You piece of shit. You piece of shit.
Mr. T never got lost again, thanks to
Nintendo TV was amazing.
You got that fucking wine out and shit.
No, I actually didn't really like Nintendo TV. The only thing to me that was wrong with it was that it was so slow. It was really slow when you were posting, and it was really cool during football and watching, you know, being able to like basically live chat to, you know, post to Twitter and Facebook and stuff. That was pretty cool. But obviously not enough people got onto that for it to be as good as it could have been. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, obviously the video feature was amazing.
Come on, just name your favorite.
He's sitting there sipping on this wine and just got
Trolling.
buttons and shit.
We got
We got the iron. Never mind.
Off TV play is probably the best thing about it, because of the multitask nature of it. Like, and I guess a lot of people have issues multitasking, basically using the screen, looking up, and all that. But I'm so used to it because I'm a video editor and I use 3 monitors pretty much all the time. So, looking at different screens is not a big thing for me. But a lot of people didn't care for the looking up and down and all that kind of stuff. But off TV play, gamepad enhancements in games. Like, I tout all the time how cool the gamepad features are in Deus Ex, Human Revolution, Director's Cut. I mean, they're awesome. If that could have been like a launch title and everybody could see just how cool, maybe things would be different. Who knows? But the gamepad features in that are amazing, and it's just sad that it got mired in some of the stupidity as far as launching that game, that a lot of people didn't even touch it. So. I mean, that's pretty much it for me. Yeah.
How about you, Robert? What are some of your favorite aspects of the Wii U?
My favorite aspect of one of the favorite aspects for sure is Miiverse. Before I was banned,
I didn't want to take that from anybody. So
really
Dicks
enjoy
everywhere,
Miiverse.
man.
I enjoy Miiverse a lot. I would post, a ton of posts when like for Minecraft, you could show off your creations, and then for when you progress at a level, you could show off all that kind of stuff. Miiverse is awesome. That's what introduced us to Miiverse, and then especially the gamepad. I love the Wii U gamepad. It's like my favorite controller, and it's crazy that like something so kind of simple, it's a screen on your controller, but it works. I mean, just awesome. And to think that we might be going back to not having it is weird. And but hopefully we could somehow play with it. I don't want to do off the TV. I have to do it, but maybe Nintendo will think of something for the Switch. But I love that gamepad. I think it's great. And
it's a lot more comfortable than people give it credit for.
For sure.
Because it's like, obviously, it's really ergonomic for your hands. And I lay back, I lounge, and it rested in my lap. And I don't even think about it most of the time.
Yep.
When I do that. It's almost like,
I've never had an issue with it either.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like people just kind of jumped on a bandwagon when it came to the gamepad. I feel like I don't believe a lot of it. Because to me, it's just so intuitive. But. Sorry,
all right,
I didn't mean to take your thing.
Yeah. Terrell, you got anything?
Yeah, I got some. I mean, granted, it's going to be very similar, but I do have some slight spins on it. So the obvious one is the gamepad. And I'm surprised no one mentioned this, but the main reason why I like the gamepad so much is because it turned tasks that are annoying as fuck on every other console very accessible. Because half the reason why you like Miiverse is because of the gamepad.
Because you could type with the gamepad. That's
it didn't feel like I gotta hit the damn L stick like 16 times just to put in 2 letters and some shit.
Yeah,
I love that. Now I just like the fact that I could cut it on and just touch the screen and I'm in my game. I hate it because I had a PS3 before that and I always had to boot it up, wait for it to come up, and then I had to skim over to the game section. And if I had a lot of downloaded games, I had to skim through all the games to find the one I wanted, hit X, and then usually wait another 10 to 15 minutes for a fucking patch they need to upload. Whereas it, like, with the Wii U, was literally, you cut it on, all your icons show up, and you just press the icon you're about to play, if you already had the game in the console, obviously. So that's the main thing I really love, is just the touchscreen aspect of it. The next thing is the obvious Miiverse. I feel like that is probably the only real gaming community I got into based on the console, because for one, I've never owned an Xbox console, and then I never fucked with PlayStation. So I really like that, and the Game Pass would make that great. And then the third thing is the games, because the games are awesome.
All right, and I was trying to find our top the games that we did the top 20 Wii U games.
Oh, the top 20, yeah.
I can only find like a portion of the list, but I was just gonna run down our top 5 again for people. But after I give Rob, you go next, and then I forgot you hadn't gone yet. So give your favorite things about the Wii U.
Yeah, so I know I'll probably be the one weird one who like doesn't love the Miiverse. Like I have nothing against it, but I just never used it. So the Miiverse is awesome. I love that Nintendo had that. And I really hope that they take the idea to like a slightly new level with the Switch, because I'd be all on board for that. But I just never got into it. Nothing against it, never got into it. Honestly, my favorite thing about the Wii U was so simple. We've all said it. It's the games. It's always that library. I've said that as, you know, on my videos and stuff when I talk about it. Yeah, I love my PlayStation and Xbox a lot, but they will never compete with the library of the Wii U. And that's even on, you know, when you consider like Nintendo's first party stuff, I've said it before, they weren't, like you said, Juice, a lot of the versions of the franchises that we maybe wanted or expected. We did not get the Metroid that I was hoping we were going to get and that stuff, but every game they released was still awesome. Even the lower tier ones like Kirby and Captain Toad were still great damn games. So it's definitely the games for me, man. Nintendo killed it. The number one thing they had to do beyond the graphics or the controller or the communities or whatever was bring really great games, and they did that in spades. And also, I am a sucker for the gamepad, just like you, Robert. So haters can hate, poo-pooers can poo-poo, but I love the freaking gamepad so much. Even though it's not all that revolutionary, but, I mean, Terrell, everything you say about, oh, you can just touch the icon to start this and that. Like, we do that on our phones all the time, but for your home console, it's awesome. It just totally changes everything. And when I think about like my favorite games that use it, like Zombie U and Wonderful 101 and Rayman Legends and all that stuff, Xenoblade, it makes games better when it's done right. The one thing you could say is there was a lot of opportunities that definitely weren't taken with the gamepad, which really sucks. Deus Ex is another great one. I have that too, of course, Steve. We've talked about that before. But you know what? For like the handful of times it was done perfectly, it changed the way I looked at playing games. And so I will always love the Wii U and Nintendo for making that damn gamepad. So that's it, man. The games and the gamepad. Those are my favorite things.
All right. Yeah, and I think the top 5 games that we kind of ranked was Smash Brothers #1.
Yeah.
Mario Kart 8 was #2. 3D World was 3. Splatoon was 4. And I think Xenoblade or
was it Bayonetta?
no,
maybe?
that was just out. So it was
Might
like
have been Tropical Freeze.
That's
Tropical
tough
Freeze.
to squeeze it into 5. So
Yeah. So those were some of those were the top 5 games that we
The collective Juice's loose word says those 5 games are the best.
yeah, you can't go wrong with any one of those.
So let's any frustrations? I know there's a whole side of YouTube that kind of broke apart and broke off and got too frustrated with the Wii U and some stuff. But I just for us, the people who still love the Wii U and really enjoyed it, I'll just start with one frustration just as a tech guy was the lack of like a good options for surround sound hookup. There's no optical out for like a 5.1 headset or an older surround sound receiver. For me, I actually had decided to upgrade to an HDMI receiver just because of the Wii U, so I could get 5.1. So that was kind of frustrating. And then I guess it would be just the games that didn't come out, the Metroids and stuff. And it was the sales were disappointing. I don't know, we can talk about whose fault that is, but just the system itself. Once the updates kind of sped up, the initial system was pretty slow. So there was the first few months there were pretty bad. System were kind of bricking and stuff. Not you just had to unplug it, plug it back in, but there was some early frustrations that they've fixed since then. And then it was just not continuous support. Getting games like Ultra Trash and Amiibo Festival, not they didn't seem to go all in. Once the writing was on the wall, they kind of pulled out. So I really can't think of any other like major frustrations for me. I guess it's just the community itself was the more frustrating part, and Nintendo didn't do it perfect for sure. And it's frustrating just to see how it was received and how people kind of just didn't give it a chance. And I think it's a great system. So I guess those would be kind of my frustrations. Is not exactly directly at the system itself, but anybody want to go next?
I have one. And ironically enough, it goes back to the gamepad because you kind of named all the generalized ones, so I can't really add on to those. But the one thing I couldn't stand, and I still don't fucking like, is the inconsistent use of the gamepad from game to game. And I understand that's a developer standpoint, but at the same time, it ticks me off that like when I like using the touch screen in certain games, and then I lose that ability in other games. Smash being the biggest offender, because that damn menu is set up is almost perfect for a touchscreen. You can't touch anything. On top of some of the other issues with the OS, where sometimes Smash, once again, you couldn't hit the home button in certain areas of the game, like it just wouldn't let you do it.
Yeah, that's really dumb.
Yeah,
Man, that drove me crazy.
And I don't understand what it is. Like, what's going on with the OS and the dang game in which you can't sometimes hit the home button, especially because that was the way you take screenshots on Miiverse and post them there. But I couldn't, and actually that gets into my last thing, which came up when I was playing Pokemon, that for certain games you can't do that at all. Like for whatever reason, Pokemon games, and I don't know why this is, you cannot post pictures at all. You can't post any Miiverse pictures from the game. I don't get why. It's just something that does not happen at all. And then maybe Miiverse being a little bit too locked down, where people were like, oh, they did like certain updates to Miiverse, and you couldn't.
People getting banned, you mean?
Well, that's true.
Yeah, those damn
those banned people.
It's like I enjoy Miiverse, but Miiverse was not perfect by any means, and those were the things that kind of ticked me off the most, was just the inconsistent use of the gamepad. And maybe, I guess, as a little extra some of the games not being fully realized with the gamepad. Star Fox Zero being the perfect example for that.
All right. Who wants to go next?
Well, one thing I want to say, I totally agree with Terrell. I actually forgot about that there are some like parts in games where you just can't go to the menu. Like you click home and it won't do it. It's like that doesn't make
mostly
any sense.
online once you're online.
Yeah, it's like once you're online it doesn't let you. But to me it's like that's totally, I mean, the Switch has to let you do that. I mean, you could do that on anything. You know what I mean? You just click it and it goes off. It doesn't.
PlayStation 3, you could like bring up the overlay, but a lot of the things were restricted while you're in the game. Like you could do messaging and that's about it. Everything else, settings and everything, you had to get out of the game. It would show them to you, but you couldn't access them. So
okay. Well, I mean, you can't even go to the menu with the Wii U.
Yeah, but when you're in an online game, you know, there's really not. They don't want you just to go out, because then if a match starts or something, then it could be. I see why they did it, because they didn't have like that pop-up overlay menu system. But yeah, there was definitely some games where it's like, why can't I?
Yeah, definitely. And then also my biggest complaint is no Animal Crossing. Come on.
You got Animal Crossing? Come on, man.
You got that damn Amiibo Festival.
You got it in spirit.
You got the Water Plaza. I mean,
yeah, the Animal Crossing Plaza thing. When I saw that, I was just like, "Oh man, I can't wait when they announce it next year." And then the year after, and then the Switch. They announced the NX, and I'm like, "This isn't coming, is it?"
Metroid fan.
That was like the sad realization.
That was so sad.
Oh, shit.
You could hear his heart break as he said it.
Yeah.
Another frustrating thing was just how Nintendo didn't seem to be ready for 2013, and it seemed to have a good plan. And delays and games getting canceled. It was.
Why you gotta take mine, man? Why you gotta take
Go ahead. What's yours?
No, just playing. That was kind of mine. I felt like that was frustrating coming out of the gate, because I felt like Nintendo didn't come strong with first party. They kind of let third party do their thing out of the gate. And we had new Super Mario Brothers U, which was pretty damn cool, but it just wasn't that title, from Nintendo. And then you had Nintendo Land, but no online, multiplayer with that. And that leads into another frustration, is having to share the damn gamepad. It's like, who gets to use the gamepad? When you're playing local, it's just like, I don't want to give up my gamepad. It's the only one I got. Somebody break this, I might have to break somebody. So, Reggie talked about, oh, we're gonna get dual gamepad game. Never happened.
Yeah, what a lie.
Yeah. I don't. Could the Wii U even handle that kind of power? Like streaming to two different gamepads? I don't even know if it could do that. It just
With Wii
almost felt like a
graphics,
lie.
maybe.
Yeah, right. So that, and I think one of my initial disappointments is kind of based on confusion, because there was some confusion coming out of that reveal of the Wii U.
Oh yeah.
The one thing for me was like, remember they were playing like, there was a thing where they were like playing checkers or something on the gamepad only.
Yes. Yeah.
So I was thinking there were going to be like little mini games all over the place that you could just play on the gamepad like that. And, didn't happen.
Yeah, that reminds me of and you probably remember this, T. The Sega Master System had little games, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That you could turn it on without a cartridge in, and there was just like some games like you could play on it.
That was pretty cool. Yeah.
That would have been cool for the Wii U. Actually, I never thought about that.
Yeah, I thought that's what I thought the Wii U was going to do when they showed that little demo or whatever, that little promo. But none of that stuff came to fruition. So and that, and just I didn't get enough Nintendo games. Obviously, we talked about not getting Metroid and stuff like that, and you just didn't get enough core Nintendo. Nope. We got Kirby, but it wasn't Kirby. So yeah, it's just stuff like that.
All right. How about you, Rob? Did you have any that we didn't mention, or some that maybe we did?
It's tough because, a lot of people have problems with the Wii U in a lot of ways. And it's like there are genuine frustrations like we're kind of talking about. And the easy one is also the games. It's like we can all say, oh, the games is one of my favorite things about the Wii U. But it's weirdly also one of the most frustrating things, too. It's kind of funny how that happens. Because you're totally right. Obviously, Metroid's the biggest one for me. I could cry myself to sleep about it. And, Kirby's great and Captain Toad's great and all this stuff. Animal Crossing, not so great, but it shows that we got what I call those placeholder games. Like, still some pretty good games, but they weren't the true versions that we all wanted. So it really sucks that they kind of dropped the ball on that a little bit. I would have to say that, talking about why one of the reasons I never got into Miiverse, I think that OS, that app system OS, as cool as it was for the touchscreen, it created the problems where using things like Miiverse never seemed interesting because of what the process was for the system to move between those. I mean, that was too bad. People talked about it, and it's like, that's a pretty legitimate complaint. It really sucks that the Wii U has to do that, man. And it killed my interest in using the Miiverse, which I do think is cool, but it's just too cumbersome to even deal with. I'm like, I don't want to post on the Miiverse, man. Oh, go ahead.
I just want to say it was so weird because there were some games that you didn't have to jump anywhere in the Miiverse. Like New Super Mario Bros. You post in the game, and it showed the Miiverse. Right. There was a lot of games that did that. It was just so weird to have it, and then 3D World didn't. Like, it's just so weird to have you still have to jump in, even though you had these games that were like already in sync with it.
So that's what they got an OS level feature, honestly.
Yeah, that's an OS thing. So
it is definitely an OS thing. And then coming off the same thing of the games, where like the games is like one of the best things, but also a problem. The gamepad, which also one of my favorite things, was so great, but at the same time, because so many opportunities to use it in the right way weren't taken. That drives me crazy. And not so much like the Smash Brothers menus and stuff, even though that is dumb, and I agree with you, Terrell. But I just think of like games where like 3D World could have maybe done a lot of cool things. Donkey Kong, we all know Donkey Kong just went to it just turned off. And it's like, well, make me do something with that. Like, you got this awesome gamepad. Make me move Diddy Kong around or whatever. And I really, for how much I loved the gamepad, I just wanted it to be awesome in every Wii U game. Don't even get me started on Watch Dogs, of course. That was a big old debacle. Even though I liked the game, the gamepad was a freaking disaster, those idiots. So I really wish that it was taken advantage of as often as, like, when Wonderful 101 and Zombie U knocks out of the park, like, what about all these other games? And that just didn't happen. So I'd say those are probably some of the biggest things for me.
And, sorry, I was checking something real quick. Did anybody point out the GIMP ports in the beginning of the life?
No, but that's a good one.
Yeah. The fact, and it was Nintendo's fault too, because they didn't give developers the final hardware in time, and they didn't really help them figure out how to use it, and
well, and that even makes me think of the other one I forgot. Building on that is, honestly, I'm fine with the graphics and the power of the console, but if it was more powerful, if it had an internal hard drive and all these different things, it would have made a significant difference on that front. That's one of the things that held it back too.
I think the Wii, a lot of the faults in the Wii U are the faults of the Wii. I just feel like the Wii made Nintendo kind of lazy. So they just kind of like they kind of gimped into HD because they were they were riding the gravy train on that Wii, and I
And they're like, the
think
gravy
that
ran out. What do we do?
yeah, I actually think that what was it? Tropical Freeze was probably a Wii game, and they converted it over. I
Yeah.
think that's one of the reasons you don't have much in the way of gamepad features, or none. You have nothing in the way of gamepad features other than off TV play. I think that was
That's
one
a
of the
really good
reasons.
point. Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about moving forward into the Switch here. We don't know everything about it. We don't know really a lot about it. So things that Nintendo maybe had hopefully learned from, things maybe they implement into the Switch from the Wii U, or So I won't go first. I don't want to steal them off. If somebody can think of something. Whether you want them to have learned from the Wii U and not have it in the Switch, or something you liked in the Wii U that you really hope, like I said, off TV play, where you're actually, your TV's playing, a show or a football game, and then you can play your game off screen. That's obviously going to be there. So that would be an example of something that Nintendo, and it's still an idea they took from the Wii U that works on the Switch. And there might not be a whole lot. I don't know if anybody can think of anything. And the other part of this would be, how has the Wii U's failure maybe impacted Nintendo moving forward? Since the system is a failure in that it didn't reach a mass audience. We don't know if it was profitable.
Commercial failure.
Yeah, I don't know if it was profitable or not. Really they haven't. Well, maybe we'll never know. But so Terrell, you start. So why don't you go ahead?
Yeah. I guess for the first part, a quick, easy one is what we were talking about before, how certain games didn't have consistent gamepad features, where like certain games you could easily post the Miiverse and you couldn't. I hope Nintendo learns not to make that a part of the game and have that just be about the console, be a feature of the console in general, and not up to the developer.
Yeah, not a game-to-game thing. Yeah.
Yeah, because then you create inconsistencies and you can't call it a feature because it only showed up at certain games and not the other. And as far as how the Wii U's commercial failure impacted the Switch, for one, it got them not to like start working on a console way late into the other console's lifespan, because I think that was the problem with the Wii U. I would take a shot in the dark and guess the Wii U probably wasn't even being worked on development-wise until like somewhere between the halfway point of the Wii cycle, if not the latter end of the Wii cycle. So I'm hoping, and I think that's what they've mainly learned, is that we got to stop being, because it's like everyone else was saying, they got lazy. And they probably didn't start working on the Wii U as an actual console until like probably 2008, 2009 probably. And they probably didn't do enough research. That's why they were shot by HD game development, which
they're like, oh, this is kind of hard.
Which is, considering it was 2012 when they were saying stuff, 2012, 2013, you're just kind of like, huh? What? How are you confused? We've been doing HD gaming for a while now. So that's why I hope they've and it looks like they have learned. It looks like the Switch was actually properly planned out, probably a little bit quicker than they wanted to. But then again, they did delay the release of it to skip the holiday season. So I'm thinking this one was a lot better planned out. And that's what failure will do to you. It forces you to go back to the drawing board and get creative and come up with something that works and fully flesh it out from the get-go. So, yeah.
All right, that's a good one. How about you, Rob? You got anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, mine's an obvious one that everyone hears me talk about all the time, but it's that really legitimate third-party support and like fixed relations with that side of the industry. And I've said it a million times, and I firmly believe this. Yes, Nintendo can absolutely survive without third parties, and I love that they're the only company that I think could actually do that. Obviously, Sony and Microsoft would be dead in the water without third-party relations. Nintendo can do it, and that's great. But I like the idea of Nintendo having strong third-party libraries, even if it's just a fraction of them that are like legitimate ports, not the half-assed, watered-down ones that don't run well, like how the Wii U happened, but actual games that release day and date alongside of the counterparts on the PC and the other consoles. I think that really will be A, good for Nintendo, and B, it's just something I want, because I mean, I have a PS4 and Xbox One, But I will play these third-party games that I love on my Nintendo Switch if they release the right way. And it seems like that could happen. Skyrim's a great sign and all these different things. We don't know if it's going to devolve into the Wii U thing like it did before. I want to believe not. I'm trying to be optimistic, and I think that they'll have that part figured out, hopefully. But yeah, I think that's something that they could really learn, because if anything, an argument could be made that one of the several things that led to the failure of the Wii U was the fact that people outside of the hardcore Nintendo fan didn't see value because the other games they like to play weren't available. And I would like to see that. As somebody who would play my third-party games on my Nintendo console, I would like to see that. And I think it would be healthy for them. So I'd say that.
Okay. Robert, you got anything?
I think you guys covered it pretty good, but all
All right, Beavis.
I think we're taking that L, man. Just take it.
I think the only thing again is like, Miiverse they could obviously expand on, and some of the social stuff. Maybe we could. I mean, obviously a lot of people want that voice chat, the game chat, so cross game chat. Here's what it is. I forgot. And if people want it, I guess I don't know if it takes a lot for them to make it, but I guess you might as well do it, right? People like it, so why not? That.
You're dealing with a net gain as far as financials for the Wii U overall, but it's pretty small. And if it wasn't for like Amiibo and Mario Kart selling crazy and Smash and all the crazy DLC, people going crazy for Smash, stuff like that, they would really be struggling. And the fact that Nintendo was really
3DS.
good. Yeah, and the 3DS, obviously. But even the 3DS had its struggles. Obviously, Nintendo's really good at like making blockbuster games for not so blockbuster budgets, and that definitely helped them this gen. I'm sure. So while I think overall, once this generation's said and done, it will be a gain. It'll be a net gain. It won't be that much at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You mean far as the negative impact the Wii U did? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I mean, as far as
financially, right?
financial.
Well, financially, yeah. Got it. Okay.
Well, they had some pretty big sellers that didn't have, Splatoon, I guarantee you, made a profit after a couple 100,000 units, 500,000 maybe, like I said in my juice opinions. And that's one of the things I was going to say is a new IP is now like a fourth pillar to them. Like Splatoon is now up there with Zelda, Mario, and I guess Pokemon, if you want to count that. A lot of people don't associate Pokemon and Nintendo, but Mario, Zelda, maybe Splatoon now is actually the third one, because
I think especially if they deliver on the actual sequel, not if it's a port or whatever happens there, but a sequel, it'll absolutely solidify itself. You're right.
I think, it's so new IP there. And the other thing I want them to keep doing is putting in, like, Mario Kart 8 was an obvious huge step up in their production value, their development time for a console Mario game. I mean, the Mario 64 probably took them time because they had to learn new stuff, but Mario Kart 8 over Mario Kart Wii was just like, it was
night and day.
One of the biggest leaps we've seen, in a long time from a visual standpoint for a franchise. And just, I want to see them, and it was rewarded with 8 million sold. So I want to see them continue that. You can still have your smaller games and stuff, but don't release Mario Kart Wii, which looked like, minimal effort was put into it. And maybe there was a lot of, but it just seemed like a minimal step. Just continue building and putting effort into your main games and giving us some of the best games in the franchise's history. It's going to be hard to top Mario Kart 8, so maybe Mario Kart 9 can't be that big of a jump again, but just that kind of mindset, they weren't going to just skimp out, even though they did a few games, like Mario Tennis and stuff, but they really went in with their main games. And Zelda, obviously, they went in too much because the game never made it, during the Wii U's real life cycle. It's going to come out afterwards, so that, and then hopefully they learned HD development and they figured that out, so that can't be an excuse anymore, and we don't have to because I think that really added on at least close to a year for a lot of games. You know, like Pikmin 3 and who knows when 3D World or Mario Kart or Smash could have been out if they had figured out the HD development sooner. And so hopefully that's something they learned. And they also learned too that they can't rely, even though they kind of didn't help the third-party situation. I also think they need to learn that because they were there in the beginning, Nintendo needs to still have their games there too. Like they can't just say, okay, third party, you got 6 months here, because I just don't think there's as big of an audience for third-party games on Nintendo systems, and they're always competing with Nintendo's first-party games, and I don't think there's a perfect marriage of every third-party game and Nintendo's first-party games. So
yeah, the only reason it worked before is because Nintendo forced you to make it work. You got 1 game, 2 games a year back in the day, and that's all you could produce. And now, obviously, that doesn't work today. So
yeah, and I was actually going to even add to randomly also to the third-party thing, just by coincidence, is something I wanted to actually see them continue, which will kind of work with what you're saying there, Juice, is the third-party exclusive. Because they tried really hard with that on the Wii U, and that was wonderful.
Yes, definitely.
And I think that's a great thing to continue. We all want them to scoop up the occasional exclusive or an old franchise that would otherwise die or what have you. I really want them to continue that, because I do basically agree with you, Juice, too, that Nintendo's games do still have to be there. The audience, for a very, very long time, won't be there in the same way for third parties on Nintendo's consoles. I think it needs to be like a slow, nurturing relationship with Nintendo and third parties for a while, so that they can start letting the gamers know, oh, these games I can also play on my Nintendo console. Maybe I can save money on a $400 PlayStation 5 because my Switch or Nintendo whatever can do all that, and my Mario and Samus are there, and stuff like that. So if Nintendo works slowly over time with third parties to make that part of the culture, and they also scoop up those exclusive and can make a continual stream of their games and no droughts like the Wii U, another lesson they need to learn, then I think that's probably the perfect way I'd like to see it. Because you're right. I mean, I totally get, even as a third-party fan, like the relationship or the audience isn't there on Nintendo's consoles the same way. Totally get that that's true. And I'm one of the rare ones that would play those third-party games there. But I like the idea of Nintendo starting now to fix the problems they had with the Wii U, so that culture can change for the Switch and the next console, so that the gamer starts to understand that it is part of Nintendo's culture, first and third party on the same machine.
You can build that up, but the thing is,
after time,
Nintendo has to do it, but third party also has to step up and be like, all right, we know we probably won't sell that much on this first iteration, but maybe we'll build an audience, and the next time around it'll get better, and it'll get better. That kind of.
And what comes with that is not shitty ports and not half-assed effort coming from these third parties, which was a huge. Nintendo played a part in the failure of those games too, but those third-party companies really dropped the ball with porting those games to the Wii U.
And you had the whole
that sucked.
Advertising
situation
where you got Sony has advertising rights to 3 or 4 major third-party multi-plats where Microsoft
like
couldn't even advertise their version of the game, and
so
it's
weird.
like. To me, like that
so
kind of BS is always going to prevent. Like, I'd rather have Nintendo take that money and invest in Bayonetta 3, Beyond Good and Evil 2, exclusive to your system, and not pay money just for advertising rights to a.
That's a good point. I do agree with that.
I don't understand. Like, why would a company even do that? Like, why would they? You're muting your sales on the other console.
That's because
hurting yourself in the long run. I think
Sony did it to win over the mind share, and like I said,
I get why Sony would do it.
Yeah, but
why would those companies say
because they're making so much
Call of Duty, so
it probably makes up. They probably get enough money from Sony to make up for any whatever the Xbox One doesn't sell, and who knows? I mean, who knows what backdoor deals.
It's a jacked up practice right there, and
because I mean, even like Call of Duty's. Battlefield, all them. The PS4 has like almost about twice the install base, and now you're starting to see the game sales like kind of just be 2 to 1. But for a while there, it was like 5 to 1 for PS4 over Xbox One. So it's a hard thing to overcome. So that's why I just don't think. It's perfect third party support's just never going to be possible on.
Yeah, definitely not perfect. But
I just don't understand as a company, like why would you do that? Because don't you care about your game? Is it only about the money? Like or do you care about the legacy of your game? Do you even care about that?
That's a Nintendo thing to care about that stuff. It's not really in many other people in the industry.
If you work for a corporation like I do, you know people in suits.
Well, I know how corporations are.
They don't make good logical decisions usually. It's just like, oh, we can save some money here. Well, it doesn't matter that we're screwing over people. If we can save some money, they get so excited about it.
Yeah.
To see that. But all right, so yeah, the 4 years Wii U's been around. It's had beginning was a little rough, and this last 6 months hasn't been super exciting, but overall, to me, it's still my favorite game console that I've ever had.
Ever.
So yeah, it's just I went all in with. I had indie games. I've had digital full retail titles. I had physical. Had I think the biggest library of games I've ever purchased for one system, and the games I got were for the most part really fantastic. So I'm glad that I bought it and got all these great games, and I just hope Nintendo can be successful with the Switch financially and all that moving forward, because they even though they might be some things happening that I'm not excited about, but if it can make Nintendo a more successful company, and they're going to have these lessons to take them, make sure they're making good decisions, even if the Switch becomes a huge success, they're still going to have this humbling experience to go back on to maybe help them with future decisions. So overall, I'm glad that the Wii U came out and stuff, but yeah, they definitely could have done things a lot better, and I'm sure Nintendo wanted it to be a way different situation. But yeah, it's one of those bittersweet things. I'm definitely excited about the Switch, but I still like my Wii U, and I still put in 30, 40 hours a month still. Even without brand new games coming out. So
it would be nice if we had another couple of years on it still, that's for sure.
I had 77 this month. I was like, what? I couldn't believe it. For the month of November already. It's not even over yet.
Yeah, and speaking of, I'm going to remind people of this later too. I'm going to do for the month of December, for the final send-off of the Wii U, I'm going to do every Thursday in December a Mario Kart 8 tournament. I'm going to go back to those. The last time I did Mario Kart 8 tournaments, I had probably half the subscribers and hardly any live viewers to this podcast, and we used to get a pretty good turnout for the Juices Loose Mario Kart 8 tournament. So I will post, once this video uploads, the code, and that's going to be 8 p.m. Thursday night. That's Eastern time. It's going to be like an hour and a half, I think, time frame. So hopefully we can get some people and kind of send off the Wii U in style and get back to the Mario Kart 8 tournaments. Played the other night, and it was pretty fun. So yeah, I'll remind people at the end again. But yeah, I don't want to forget that. So anybody else have any final Wii U thoughts before we move on to the final topic?
I love it.
Pretty much
What
that.
are
I
you
agree.
playing?
4 years old is too old.
4
years old is too young to die.
I never had a chance to live. Never got a job. Never got a girlfriend.
He was probably the end game, man. He was the best gangster. He was great.
All right, that's it then.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about this holiday season. We kind of already covered some stuff with the Black Friday discussion, but Nintendo doesn't have a home console game for like really this whole holiday period. I mean, when Color Splash release, was that early October or
Early October?
So yeah, no November, no December. I can't remember the last time. Last year we had Xenoblade Chronicles X in December. We had Mario Maker in September.
Devil's Third.
Devil's Third. So for me, as primary Nintendo guy, I've been catching up on some older games on my PC and stuff. It definitely feels weird to me to not have a Nintendo game. I mean, last year they had Ultra Smash and Animal Crossing. I mean, but that really didn't count. But this year there's nothing. There's Pokemon, there's NES Classic, and some new amiibos. So it just feels weird to me to not have a game from Nintendo coming out this holiday. And so yeah, it's just kind of
man. Color Splash is the holiday game, cuz.
It should be, but oh well.
Did you beat it yet, Robert?
That's what I'm counting. I'm counting Color Splash.
No.
Dang, Robert, you just
they don't have a Black Friday. new game, and they definitely don't have anything after.
No,
so.
they definitely don't have any Black Friday sales.
Oh, they had some sales.
I was actually hoping to
Console?
find freaking Paper Mario, and they had it on sale for like $5 less on Amazon. It was so.
And what about the Wii U
There
itself?
you go.
I meant for the console.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean,
Everybody got quiet.
why wouldn't they want to just get rid of them?
Because they don't want to. Again, they're treading on tepid waters. They don't want to do what Sega did with the Dreamcast.
Take a bigger
They
L than they
did
have to.
what it had to do to get rid of the stock.
Yeah,
But they lost so much money. They lost like $270 million on that.
that's true, but it is kind of weird when the other systems are dropping way down with newer hardware.
I know. I'm totally with you.
It's
By
true.
the way, I just got my PlayStation 4 bundle for $200, not $212.
Yeah,
Really?
Did you?
Yeah, I got an extra deal because
Oh.
I'm going to pick it up from Target.
Oh my god!
Ooh.
Can we-
Snizzap?
He's a savage.
Yeah,
You got smoked.
Bruh.
You lost
$200 even.
T.
yes,
Wow,
Whoa.
plus tax or
no tax.
really?
No tax.
I didn't know that was possible.
Take that, government.
Well, my wife did it. My wife did it on her Amazon. She always gets all these crazy deals and stuff because she's crazy about like couponing and all that crap.
Yeah, women are smart about shopping. For the
Yeah,
most part.
so it was $200 even.
Damn.
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 So
She needs to
awesome.
shop for me.
Yeah.
Would she be willing to do that?
I know, goddamn.
Probably.
Help me out.
So yeah, anybody else feel kind of weird not having like a Nintendo game to buy?
It's
Super
sad.
It's kind of hard to say that for me personally. Cause
I want it feels. I remember, in 2013 when you had 3D World and you had Smash, like big titles, and it just now it's literally nothing. It's like
Smash 2013.
I don't
No.
No, Smash.
No,
was
2014.
Oh,
I mean, like you know what I mean. Like 2013 was
Smash and
3D
Pikmin.
World.
Oh yeah, 2013 had
2014.
Pikmin, Wind Waker, Sonic, Lost Worlds, 3D World.
And then 2014
and third-party
had-
games.
Yeah, Rayman.
If Nintendo could have did what with the Wii U, and this is what I was thinking it might happen, what they did with the 3DS for 2013 instead of 2014, if they would have came out with Wind Waker HD in the summer, the way they came out with Ocarina of Time 3D,
Mhm.
and then that fall come out with Mario Kart the way they did on the 3DS, I think who knows where we'd be right now.
Yeah.
You
A lot
know?
of things could have happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of minor changes could have.
Mario
Too many
Kart
variables.
and 3D World dropped on the 3DS later in the year.
Yep.
And
Yeah, that was-
would
they
have
were-
happened
yeah,
on
that was
the Wii
incredible.
U. Oh man, who knows what would have happened? Who knows what we?
That was incredible. Yeah, and that literally
That's
changed
what saved the 3DS. Yeah,
Yep.
the price drop helped, but when them games hit like that,
Mhm.
Ocarina of Time 3D, and then Mario Kart, and then 3D Land, that's when it really started killing.
Uh-huh.
It turned everything around for the 3DS. So if the
Yeah.
Wii U could have had that, we'd be in a different. Maybe we'd be talking about Metroid, playing Metroid right now.
Don't,
Yeah.
man.
Maybe.
I know.
Oh,
Talking about Animal Crossing, playing
No.
so many.
Yeah.
So what do you
Switch,
guys
what's a Switch? Light switch?
Game Switch.
What do you guys think will be the big holiday game to come out of this? Because even Call of Duty seems that
You
The
mean
last
all together?
Guardian.
like half.
Um,
They're saying that Call of Duty Infinite Warfare's first week was half of Black Ops 3 in the
oh,
UK,
sure
which
of it, yeah.
um,
I mean, I think. So you're saying what's going to be considered like the premier?
yeah. What do you think?
Shooter fatigue, man. That's all that is.
I would put my money on a game that I so want, but I'm passing on right now because I'm inundated with games, and maybe Final Fantasy.
Yeah,
that's gonna be a
After
game.
the
Maybe
reviews
Final
just came
Fantasy
out for that.
15. Yeah.
Yeah. What are the reviews, by the way?
It
It's like
seems
an
to be hanging
86.
around like the 8s. Like,
I was thinking
Okay.
it's gonna be around 8. Yeah.
yeah,
That's-
86 apparently last time I checked on Metacritic, which is pretty damn high.
Yeah, and if it's a really big seller, which it will be, I feel like that's one that will get a lot of attention as far as
Well,
like,
yeah,
that
was-
big 2016 game.
That's for a certain crowd, though.
Yeah, I
It
don't
is.
know. I mean, in Japan, that'll do
thick
pretty
ass
well.
anime fans. So.
But I still
I think
don't
it'll do well here.
know if that'll for the
I think it'll
PlayStation.
do okay. I don't
It'll
know.
do good, but I still don't think that'll be like it'll probably do well. But I'm thinking like Battlefield 1 had really good. I mean,
Battlefield
that's
is definitely in the conversation. I
yeah,
agree
it's
with
already
that.
almost at 3 million on the PS4 after a couple weeks. So
Wow.
that might be the big winner. I mean,
So when
It's not
you
gonna be
say
Uncharted
winner,
4, man.
let me ask.
After all that
But
crying.
that's not a holiday. So let me ask though,
Battlefield's
are you talking about just straight up like unit sales juice, or do you mean like the mind share in the game that's
I'm
like
just
people think
both
Okay.
combined.
Because I feel like, sales won't be fine. I feel like for some reason Final Fantasy I feel is the game that'll have the mind share of like that big 2016 holiday. But yeah, I feel like Battlefield for sure is going to be that big seller. Like even Gears of War didn't make a big splash in the exclusive scene for Microsoft, sadly. So, and we all know Titanfall, the sad story that is that incredible game.
Yeah, I was just checking the sales, and Xbox One after 2 weeks was at 180,000.
For which game?
Titanfall 2.
What's the? Do you know what the PS4 is?
I'm
curious what's the total.
Like 4.
I think the PS4 was just a little bit higher, so I think it was like 2.
So it probably wouldn't sell a million.
Lego Dimensions is the big.
I didn't even know that. Is there a new one coming out?
Well, they released the Fantastic Beasts pack or something.
Oh.
Maybe that'll jumpstart.
Yeah, I think Final Fantasy, because of how long it's been in development, I don't know. I think the momentum might have run out. I think it'll be for RPG fans and for Japan. I think it'll be pretty big, but I really don't. I mean, it'll definitely sell a couple million copies, I would think, worldwide. Sure. Yeah. But I don't know. It's just a weird thing because I was trying to think of what games come out. Like Dishonored 2 came out.
Dishonored came out. Watch Dogs.
Yeah, Watch Dogs.
Yeah, what about Watch Dogs? I was wondering how was Watch Dogs doing.
I heard it. I just looked it up. No joke. It was 80% apparently of the original what it sold. It was lower than 80% of what the first one sold.
Oh, I'm sure of it. Like the first one was.
Well, I love those percentages. That's always a bad sign.
That's what I'm saying. Even our percentages, like we don't want to talk about them sales.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying is that obviously it sold nowhere near.
And I'm hearing it's a much better game, which is
way better.
Sad. Yeah.
Which is
way better.
I mean, it's not surprising, but it's like
Yeah.
That's.
I mean, there's if anything, think about it too. Like when a game like Watch Dogs came out in 2014, right? Like May 2014, I think, the same month as Splatoon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was
like
it was Mario Kart.
Or Mario Kart, sorry, yeah.
3 days or something.
Yeah, like within the same couple of days, but like that was now, over 2.5 years ago, and that was only like a year into the life of the PS4 and Xbox One. So there's less competition. Those consoles didn't have shit for exclusives or games that they didn't know what those consoles were still at that time. So I feel like the hype that Watch Dogs had leading into it is obviously why it sold. And then people realized, well, it's really just okay. It's not all that special. But now, not only is it that, the hype is going to be dead for Watch Dogs 2 because the first one was disappointing, but now there is a lot of competition. So there's so many games that came out this year that are actually like pretty good. Watch Dogs 1 released against nothing. It only released against Mario Kart, which is on a Nintendo
system.
Yeah, so now that Watch Dogs 2 came out, everything has come out. Call of Duty, Battlefield, freaking Gears of War, all these games. And so I feel like it's lack of hype and it's competition for pretty much all of these games.
Just like with Titanfall, a disappointing first impression.
And got it, disappointing. That's, pretty much it. So those two things, because even Titanfall had the benefit of, again, way less games available on the Xbox One when it came out. Mm-hmm. That was in the first, 6 months.
The Last Guardian will get, demolished?
Stop. Oh, God. I'd be shocked if that sold.
It'll sell a couple 100,000.
Yeah. Total, maybe by life.
I'm getting it. I'm totally
Jesus, Juice.
I mean, just look at their biggest game, Uncharted, was at 3.5 million, last reported on a month ago. It was still selling, but I mean, I just don't see The Last Guardian. Even if it was a really cool game, it just seems like the PS4 owners are a weird fickle about buying certain games. They'll buy the GTAs and the Call of Duties, but everything else is just
that's pretty
way
true.
Lower than expected.
I will say though, the one game that bucks that trend is my favorite game, Bloodborne, which actually did better than expected.
Yeah,
so that's the rare exception.
But I mean, that still did. What was it?
Just almost 2 million, I think.
2 million.
That was early. That was a little bit earlier on when.
It was
popping a little bit harder,
which is still good. But come on, man, you have only almost 50 million consoles.
That is, yeah. I mean, it's a niche game for sure. I mean,
yeah.
But that just shows that's what Nintendo does, man. Look at their 13 million units selling thing, and look at the way the game's selling, man.
It's crazy.
And then everyone and their mom is a PS4, but it's just like the Wii this generation. It's just sitting there. People just looking at it.
Yeah.
They're not buying games for it.
Yeah,
this really cool game came out? I don't really care.
Well, that's always been kind of the case. I mean, even the PS3 wasn't great with an attach rate for games. It was...
No.
I mean, most consoles
That's
don't
true.
sell. Like most games on those type of consoles don't sell like 50 million copies unless they're on like multiple consoles. Like most of them sell like within the single digits of the millions.
Unless they're called Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't talk about multi-console because those are gonna sell like games.
No, I mean on one console. Grand Theft Auto did crazy on PS4.
Yeah. Like
Oh,
Well,
4
but I
million.
feel like the previous Gears games and the previous Halo games and Uncharted's, I think they sold better than all of the current ones on the Xbox and PlayStation
Well,
now, right? I think.
What do you think that's about? Is it just
I
fatigue?
don't know.
I feel like there's
'Cause they're
open
so
world
good.
fatigue and shooter fatigue.
Yeah.
It should
I do
be
think
because
that.
my God, it's like every other game is one or the other.
Yeah. It's
Well,
really
that's
cool.
what maybe the
I love
Switch
those games,
can,
but there's definitely a lot of them.
do amazing.
Yeah,
Which one
like
now? Would you say?
No, I
Robert?
was saying the maybe that's why the Switch will do amazing. People want something different. You
Yeah,
know,
No,
could be.
people got fatigue on platformers in the 90s.
Well, I mean, the Switch will open up, new venues. I think as far as what types of games you can play.
yeah,
on.
because you're gonna be playing like Fire Emblem type game or
Yeah.
something you'd never seen on a console. But getting back to like just because Nintendo and me as a Nintendo gamer, I don't have anything like to buy right now. I mean, yeah, there's some PC games that I could get, and
Did you get Steam World?
I haven't got that yet. That's one.
Ah,
But
Ah.
it's I'm in the background just kind of looking at everything here, and I remember when I had an Xbox 360, PS3 in their prime, and then just bought my Wii U. I remember how clustered the holidays are, and looking at like just naming off all these games since October with Titanfall, Battlefield, Gears. You got Watch Dogs 2. You got Final Fantasy coming out. You had Dishonored.
Deus Ex came out. Yeah.
There's no way that all these games are going to sell, and it's like, that there's got to be somebody thinking, well, you sell your holidays your best chance, but with all the competition, it's also one of your worst chance too. And it's just like there's too much. And then if you add Nintendo, let's say all these third-party games are on the Switch, then you had Nintendo's first-party games coming out in October, November. It's just too much, and I think that might be a problem that's been building for a while.
They need to start thinking like Hollywood when it comes to.
And that's why my question was going to be how I don't know why people are so obsessed with this whole multi-console owner crap, because if you own something like a PlayStation 4, like there's like a shit ton of games you'd be buying.
And
no one has that kind of money.
Yeah, unless you're the kid from the toy. I just showed my age on that movie.
The toy with Richard Pryor?
Exactly.
Yeah, man.
Oh my God.
Unless you're the kid in that, you're not buying all them damn games. You're not playing all those games.
Yeah, you got to pick and choose.
Yeah.
And
That
then
kid didn't play all
Even
his
if you
toys
got the
either.
money. I mean, even if you got the money, you're not going to sit there.
you ain't
and play
got the
all this.
time. If you got the
Right.
money, you ain't got the time because you're working. If you got the money,
Exactly.
Yeah.
more than likely.
Funny how that works, man.
And as like I was looking at, because I'm not getting PlayStation Plus. I don't care. I'm not gonna pay.
Me neither. I'm sorry.
You
Sorry,
guys-
y'all.
yeah, you
Don't,
guys are-
don't ask me for my PSN. It ain't
Yeah,
happening.
that crossed out a lot of games on the list of potential games.
Yeah.
And
Destiny.
what was left, there just wasn't.
No Destiny.
There wasn't a whole lot appealing for me personally that I can't get on my PC. Maybe even though I got a PS4 with Uncharted for $225 out the door, it still maybe should have still maybe reconsidered that. But we'll see if I have buyer's remorse or not. But
You won't.
I'm just saying, like, even if I was going to get PlayStation Plus, like, which game would I choose? Like, there are almost too many options. Like T said, do it like Hollywood. And they should work out release schedules that give gamers time so they can actually, if you want to play these games, you still can't.
Well, and I'll tell you what, the reason that's cryptically more true than you guys might even realize is, as somebody who's playing a huge handful of these third-party games we're talking about, almost every single one is really damn good. I've been surprised how every single game I expected good things from, like Deus Ex and Titanfall and Gears and ReCore and all this stuff, Watch Dogs, everything's been good. I haven't been disappointed by one game I've played all year. And on all three consoles. So it's
we're
like
going to show up no matter what time of year it is. We're going to buy. If your game is good and we're looking for it, we're going to get it no matter what.
Yeah, look when GTA 5 launched in September, middle of September or whatever it was.
Didn't matter.
Mario Kart launches in May. To these games, and Ubisoft even issued a statement on Watch Dogs 2. They acknowledged the poor sales, and they're saying that it's not even up to, like, sequels tend to launch less, which makes no sense. I would assume a sequel would launch pretty like I expect Splatoon 2 to just blow away Splatoon 1's launch numbers.
Yeah.
And then they said it's even lower than just like the standard for
The standard decline.
for like the next game, and then they're hoping it will have legs, but I just don't see. I just think it's already passed. Like the chance for it to sell until it gets a price cut 40 or below was at the launch, was at its opening week, and that's what a lot of these games face.
I think we just got to get away from this holiday thing, man. It's just what's killing it. I mean, really good games these last couple of years have launched earlier in the year. Like you talked about, Mario Kart and Splatoon had early in the year launches. The first Watch Dogs, which obviously we just said did incredible. Uncharted 4. Doom came out this year. One of the absolute best freaking games to launch in 2016. Came out like in June or March or whatever. I don't even remember now. So like there's a market there. And that whole summer month is like this drought period that I think the industry hasn't realized they can probably make a killing by releasing games in the summer because no one else is doing it. And
Yeah, so
I just hope that's Overwatch.
Overwatch, yeah. When was that?
That was like June or whatever, May.
Yeah, it was, huh? So there you go.
Yeah, it's definitely, like I said, because I'm on kind of the outside looking in. I've just noticed, like, man, it's giving me flashbacks of that 2013 where I had trying to buy games. I bought The Last of Us from my buddy. He bought it first when it came out, and when he beat it, I bought it in like August 2013, and then Rayman Legends, Pikmin, GTA 5, which I ended up not really liking that game, but 3D World, Sonic Lost Worlds. I just was trying to get them all. I missed out on like the Splinter Cells and the Call of Duty. I eventually bought Ghost and Assassin's Creed 4 for discounted price, but it was just too much. Like I couldn't enjoy any one game. That's why I always tease Robert about you're a couple hours into a game and next Tuesday another new game. Like, and I just learned that I couldn't enjoy any of the games. It might sound like damage controlling for the Wii U, but in 2015, getting 5 games or so and kind of spaced out, I could really dive in. And it's almost like having the N64 where you didn't have games come out for a while, so you played them to death.
Wow, good times, man.
Part of that's a good thing, it's not a great problem, but it also does. If a game's good, it lets you really give it your full attention. So, but yeah, it's overall it's just a weird holiday, and Nintendo obviously wasn't going to be ready, and maybe the holiday with the new system with all maybe it was a strategy too, looking at the competition with all the games that come out. I don't know, maybe
it makes a lot more sense now, doesn't it?
It does seem. Because if I was looking at, a Switch coming out with all its new games, and just think of Rob over there with his PS4 and Xbox One, you'd be just like, your head would be spinning.
Dude, my head's spinning now, and that's not even factoring in the Wii U, which I don't really get to play much right now.
Yeah.
I will say, I'm sure they'll be fine with March anyway, but there are still a lot of games actually coming out in early, which is surprising.
Yeah, there's Gravity Rush 2 comes out in like January. Then you got Resident Evil.
For Honor. Then you got Horizon Zero Dawn.
Honor, wow, that's one. Yeah, I was trying to think of what comes
Evil. Out. You got a bunch of
buddy.
Yeah, there's still some coming out in the early part of the year. Then March is going to be a heavy hitter with a bunch of new games and
Nintendo, hopefully.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Horizon.
Resident Evil. You're running the joke, Robert.
Yeah. So, but anyway, it's an interesting time, and I also want to remind people that if they're wondering, again, we're going to do our January 12th prediction podcast sometime a week or two before, so probably the end of December, early January. We'll get into our expectations and predictions for that.
That's going to be an exciting time, you guys. That's going to be really crazy.
So yeah, that's going to be interesting, and that's what 6 weeks away.
Couple weeks.
So yeah, it's exciting. But we only got a few questions here, then we can wrap this up and get on. Got some stuff to do tonight. There's some shows I want to watch, so let's try to get through these. Eric Maverick asks, what other add-ons do you think could work in conjunction with the Switch, like a projector-like add-on or a way to use your smartphone in conjunction with the Switch? I don't want any add-ons other than maybe different controller, like a cool little
like a GameCube motif,
Something
and
like
stuff
that,
Yeah,
yeah.
like
I-
the Joy-Con stuff could be amazing to like change it. Like if you want a
'Cause then
game
your system,
controller, I think.
your system would truly feel custom at that point.
I
Oh,
got
for
an
sure.
idea while we were talking about the Wii U and stuff.
Mhm.
Oh.
People are talking about the Joy Cons, right? Like, oh, how they can be cool and customized. What about the grip? What if we can get a touchscreen grip?
Wait, how do you mean?
Like,
I'm confused.
You know, the grip part of the
The Joy-Con
main
holder.
commercial, yeah,
Yeah.
the main commercial, the main controller. You know, it's just like a bland kind of gray, you know,
Yeah.
light up thing. What if we can get something in there that's more like a little touchscreen device,
So like a gamepad.
Like the
almost like a
PS4.
gamepad?
Like the
Right.
PS4 controller.
And maybe you get like, you know, maybe okay. So
So
let's
you
say
can like
that.
squeeze something or whatever. Or?
Let's say like the
mini touchscreen.
the Switch itself doesn't handle like streaming. Well, who's to say you can't get this touch device controller and have it come with a dongle that plugs into your USB, and all the power, you know, whatever it needs to be, will be coming from that.
So like
True.
So like a specific game, because Nintendo does that. Nintendo's really known for doing that, making a device that works for one game and maybe other games will use it, like the Rumble Pack, for instance, that came with Star Fox. So who's to say that a touchpad type of game wouldn't require like a touchscreen grip?
You're talking
Come
about
with
like
it.
a touch surface, not necessarily
Like a
screen that
Well, it
has
could
like
be a
an
touch
image.
surface or a screen. I mean, I was thinking screen, but like obviously that would be a little bit more
So kind
expensive.
of close to what the Dreamcast did.
No, like the PS4
No.
little touchpad too, probably.
Oh,
It would be
that.
like
Okay.
where you're
Okay,
grabbing
never
the
mind.
controller is like a
Yeah.
touch sensitive thing.
Oh, okay, I get it. Okay.
And he's saying you could also have a screen option.
So it's like a peripheral, and you're not forced to buy it because everyone's all about
Yeah.
being forced. And it works for a specific game, and then other games can utilize it later on down the line. It'll mostly be from Nintendo, but maybe a third party will say, okay, well, let's try to use this for our game, if because it's going to be out there. If it sells really well, obviously, they put it with a game that's going to sell really well. That's what you do, and then people buy it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can't really think of anything add-on wise that I don't want there to be a whole lot of add-on stuff. To me, that's just
Well, there's going to be add-ons. You just can let that go. That is
There
going to
definitely
happen.
will be. I think in the question he kind of nailed it. It's what I've been saying for a while is your smartphone. I'm telling you guys, your smartphone or a mobile network or something is going to probably be implemented into it. Or at least there's a good chance of that happening. So that's something that feels pretty potentially real.
yeah. I've been
That
saying
idea.
I think their whole friend
DNA thing,
request
man?
messaging system's all you're gonna have the option to use your smartphone.
Yeah, man. They need to do that. I mean, and you can even use PSN and Xbox Live. Like, they have apps that you can, like, download your games from your phone, and then they're just on your system when you get home and stuff. And Nintendo can do stuff like that to the next level. With, like Miiverse.
Instead of
integrated-
me pausing, like hitting the home button and using the D-pad and stuff to send you guys a message, I could just bring up my friends list on my phone.
I was actually thinking
Mr.
about
T's online, cool, and then send them a game invite or hey T, what you want to play Mario Kart or something.
Dude,
I was
that's-
thinking about what Terrell was saying, like, because Terrell was talking about things that the gamepad made less cumbersome, like typing messages.
Yeah.
Who's to say? Because how many game consoles came out with a controller that had a keyboard? Like a little keyboard peripheral.
Oh, the
Why
Atari
wouldn't that
Jaguar.
be the case for the I want to say NX for the Switch?
Yeah, because
No.
the Xbox One just released a keyboard like last
Xbox One has one.
year that plugs into the bottom. So
Yeah, well, they had that for even like the PS3
they had it for the 360,
and
but they
360.
continued with it obviously
Yeah.
because they know it's an issue. So
Yeah, people like that option.
I mean,
So-
to me, it's kind of the idea of it could potentially deliver on one of those things that I was hoping the Wii U the gamepad was actually supposed to do when they first showed it, which is things like live updates, like network and Miiverse updates and game updates and trophies and stuff as your controller is on as you're gaming, which is something like Splinter Cell Blacklist for the Wii U kind of did something like that on it with its touchscreen support. I think if you played it. Like it did,
Oh yeah.
live
I don't know why I was forgetting Splinter Cell Blacklist, but it was one of the games that used the gamepad beautifully.
yeah, just think
Really
of
well.
it if just the gamepad if you didn't have like a map or something, it'd just be your live friends list, like right there. And
Yeah, anything.
Yeah.
Like I imagined when I was getting excited for the Wii U before it came out, I imagined playing a game and being able to look down on my gamepad while like the screen had other functions, and I was picturing something like on a news broadcast, you know, like all the updates and all the shit screaming across the bottom or whatever. Like it was going to do stuff like that for like your Nintendo Miiverse network and your game and all this stuff. I was like, oh, this is going to be great. Because they showed off like that video chat thing with like, you know, non-imposing superhero character, whatever that guy was. And I thought it was going to do those kinds of things. Maybe the smartphone integration can sort of be that while you're using your regular Switch controller.
Whatever it's going to be called, Splatoon Switch, Splatoon 2. What if that came with a touchscreen grip? Like, you know, so you can still do those Wii U movements if you want to. The Wii U jumps and, you know, the map and all that stuff.
If it can show me a real-time map, I'll be a happy man.
If it could do that, like that's a game that would help that grip sell really well.
Yeah,
obviously,
because I think the pro players would use it.
Exactly,
because you'd have the live map on your screen, and you could. Because we were playing Friday and Saturday night, and I've forgotten how much I use that to see if our team's winning, what areas we need to cover. Like I kind of thought I wasn't looking at it a lot, but I was like, damn, I'm checking this like
all the time.
Oh, dude, I mean,
20 seconds.
Dude, as excited as I am for the Switch, I am terrified to start. Not terrified, but I'm just really sad to start playing games without a real-time freaking map again. Like, and Splatoon is one of those great examples where it changes the game for the better.
Yeah,
and I'm so sad to lose that.
There's nobody. I don't care who you are. Nobody can tell me that going to a pause menu for Splatoon or a map or whatever, or squeezing it up on your screen is better than the gamepad. I don't care who you are. You're lying. There's no way you can tell me that's better.
I will agree. There are arguments against the gamepad that
there are arguments against
that
it.
one.
That's not one of them.
that is a de-evolution of gaming to me.
Yes.
To go back to that pause menu to pause your game to look at a map. Get the fuck out of here.
Remember Call of Duty? You could hit the minus or whatever, and it would overlay the full map. But then in the upper right, you had just a port.
See,
it's like I remember, and Splatoon was from the first time we played it. It had this, so anything moving forward is going to feel like a lesser experience until we get used to it without it. But
I hope my touchscreen grip is a thing. Please let that be a thing.
I'm gonna cross my fingers for you, man.
Just let us use our gamepad, but then they probably don't want to stream that stuff.
Yeah, and they don't want to use Wii stuff. They wouldn't. They just probably wouldn't want to do
games, that. But
they want you to buy something new. They're gonna make you buy it.
It's
a
new Switch
device.
Pad now.
Yeah, Switch Pad. That's not a bad name.
Yeah,
it's a pretty good name.
That's true.
There you go. The Switch
we'll have to find out. So, all right, game idea guy. If you could choose the next Super Mario power up, what would it be? I should have known it'd be a question that would need some serious thinking.
Let's see. It's gonna be
a dog.
Dog Mario.
A cow.
Well, it kind of depends on what mechanics will be added to the game through it.
Yeah.
I want to.
Oh, I got one. Sexy Mario.
What it is
he transforms into a very attractive woman.
Why were you just playing with Peach with a bra on?
And he distracts all the enemies.
Robert, what have you been doing tonight?
I want Naked Mario power up.
Naked Mario.
He wants bitch dick to survive.
It's going to be called Twig and Berries Mario.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god.
What about I can't. I mean, try to come up with a new power up out the top of your head, like.
Yeah, it's hard.
And when they drop them, you're like, "Oh, that makes so much sense," but you can't think of them. It's so clever.
Mean, somehow Nintendo made the worst animal to exist on the planet Earth really cool, and that is the cat.
The best.
Made it work.
Damn. So
cool. You don't like tigers?
He doesn't like cats.
Tigers are okay, but cats, like house cats, which is Miyamoto's favorite thing.
I love
Even though my girlfriend has a really nice cat. I admit I live with a nice cat, but he's a rare exception. Cats are
Bring
crazy,
back the Hammer Brothers power up. That was such a cool one.
That's a good one. Well, think about like the Cloud and the Rock. Like that's the outward thinking that Nintendo uses.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it'd have to be something like, I don't know, Chainsaw
It's going to be
Mario.
something off the wall. I'd love to see a frog suit back, though. That would be cool.
Yeah, in 3D.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah, so, I don't think we can come up with something on the spot.
Maybe like a music-related one.
Cocaine Mario.
Like Guitar Mario or Guitario.
He becomes all fast.
How does he get through that maze? He does lines. Oh.
What
That's
about what about a
It goes
Sonic
2D
power up?
and shit.
That's like
Sorry.
4 podcasts in a row with a cocaine reference, by the way.
Is it?
How many times we talk about cocaine? I don't remember this shit.
I never bring it up.
I must have been
Someone
high. Or
Video
someone
games
did.
is a hell of a drug.
Terrell,
Oh, you mother.
Terrell, how about a Sonic power up for Mario? Or
No, that's an insult to Sonic. I mean, anyways.
And so
Mario already runs faster than Sonic. I don't want this shit.
I'm telling you guys, man, a Guitar Mario.
it's
There needs to be
desert.
Guitario.
Well, there's
I
a
stand by that.
there's a
Mario.
theory going around
Oh
that
my
Mario
God, there
actually
you
runs
go.
faster than
Oh.
Sonic does.
I gotta check that out. I haven't seen that.
well,
It's
here's
weird.
here's another question that you're not gonna have to think about at all from the game idea guy. Name one Wii game that you'd like to see a sequel appear on the Switch, but it
Ooh.
can't have a follow up on the 3DS or Wii U. So a Wii
Rabbits go
game,
home.
They want a sequel.
Let's
Eat
go.
a dick.
Rabbits had an appearance on the Wii.
Katsunoko
No,
versus Capcom.
Rabbits go home though. The specific
Rabbits go home.
sequel to
I want
Rabbits.
Tatsunoko versus Capcom too. Damn it.
Ooh.
I want, and T's gonna agree with me on this one. I want No More Heroes 3.
Oh, hells yeah.
That's the one. Make it happen.
yes.
Nintendo.
That one's too obvious to me.
Yeah, but it's still a good one. It's obvious. but it's
Like
a
a
good
video-
one.
Like Wii specific game that didn't have a follow up on 3DS.
So it had to be an exclusive to the Wii.
Not exclusive to the Wii, but the last iteration was on the Wii, I would assume, and then it didn't get one on. Like Metroid had a Prime Federation Force on the 3DS. So does that count?
Yeah.
I would think it would. In
Because
his
it's
rules,
too
I
big,
would
Well, it's
because we
not
know
a
what you
main
would
line
pick
though.
if
It's
we
not a
did.
main line.
But
Yeah.
then,
What was? What
'Cause
am
I
missing?
don't
There's
need-
gotta be something.
I don't
You
need
said
better-
Wii or 3DS?
Wii U or 3DS is what his
Wii U
question
or
was
3DS?
specifying. So like No More Heroes would have been a perfect example. Red Steel 3, I guess.
Yeah, Red Steel, good one.
Well,
That's
yeah,
a really
Red
good
Steel,
one.
yeah, easy.
I would love to have that happen.
I know.
What
I know
about
Red's,
the
Red's
one
favorite,
guy?
Red Knight's favorite series on the Wii, The Conduit.
I would actually like a really good sequel Conduit game. I almost bought that for $5.
I didn't hate the Conduit. It had some kind of bland level design.
It was
Yeah.
very bland looking.
Yeah.
So those
But
games
I
were
liked,
like,
the sci-fi-ness of it.
yeah, no, those games were like really not good games, but I really enjoyed them both. And
They
I
were
bought
really
them both.
visually impressive.
Yeah, they were pushing the Wii with this,
Yeah.
Yeah,
ma-
it was
major
exciting to see them do
emphasis.
cool, like refractive lighting and all this weird
Yeah.
shit and stuff. I was like,
And
yeah,
if you
the-
remember, early on for the 3DS, it was supposed to come out. It was supposed to be a
Yes.
3DS game. Remember Conduit? It was supposed to be on 3DS?
yeah, the high
remember.
voltage guys were working. They even had an
Yeah.
interview with
Wonder what
IGN.
happened to that.
Remember their lineup of games they had planned? It was just like they like bit off way more than they could chew. They had
Yeah.
like a werewolf or something game.
They had a bunch of
Oh
little
god!
games.
Oh my god! What was that called, Juice? That was gonna be
That-
fucking awesome.
I think it might have released on the PS3 or
No, it
and
definitely
Xbox
didn't.
360, and it was trash. I can't remember.
No, it didn't. It didn't. It didn't. I know it didn't. But
So,
yeah, they turned it into like a different, like an isometric game or something.
Yeah, yeah. I remember
Called
that.
the
Yeah.
Wild Bunch or something. Wow, I forgot about that. Anyway,
That's what happens though. They were like
What about
crisis.
Animal Crossing.
They were about to go in on the 3DS and it just.
I had no. That was going to be a Wii game, a first-person game.
Oh, yeah,
with
that was going to be a
vampires.
Wii game, yeah.
I'm looking it up. I got to know. You can move to the
Of
next
course,
question.
Robert, would forget the parts of the question that are important here.
Yeah,
No,
it
but-
is.
no, but,
it
like-
can't be Wii U or
we-
3DS.
Oh, but yeah, but
You
the
got an
thing
Animal
is,
Crossing on
technically,
3DS, Robert.
we only got the console one on the Wii. So
He
we're
said the
gonna-
3DS also, though.
You know,
Oh, that game was called The Grinder.
The Grinder.
That's what it was going to be called.
Man, that's a
Gonna
hell
go
of a
to the
sex
Grinder.
Welcome to the Grinder.
What's that Good Burger reference?
Welcome to the good. Welcome
I
to
was
the
thinking of the
Grinder,
sex-
home of the Grinder.
Never mind.
No, he was saying he kept saying, you know what happens to you? Kurt put you in the grinder or something like that.
Oh, I don't remember
Actually,
that one.
you're right. That is what he said.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
It's really cheesy.
It's really cheesy, and he made fun of him for it.
The grinder.
You gotta go to the
here's
grinder.
one. What about My Pokemon Ranch 2?
Oh,
You
come
a
on,
dick.
man.
There's a reason why they didn't make another one of those fucking games after
Because
the
it's
game
too special for a
Because it
sequel.
sucks.
It's too special. It's
I don't
special,
It
all right.
sucks.
I'm
It's
wondering,
definitely special.
You know what? They're
Robert.
like $5.
when's the last time you played these games you keep bringing up?
Which one? Like my Pokemon Red?
Never.
I mean,
I feel like you picked that up
That's
just
like a joke thing because that
Never
was a
played
while
that
ago.
game.
He just likes to spite me because he has
No,
bad
well,
taste in games.
it's a fun little thing I would go on every day and just check my new Pokemon, be like, oh, that's a cool guy, and
He's the only dude,
And turn
he's the
it right
only dude
back
who
off.
get a mainline Pokemon game. Like I want to go play the side game.
and then Rabbits Go Home. I actually played earlier this year. It's
I want to play Hey You
such
Pikachu.
Oh, fuck. Oh, gee, no. I wanted to break my N64 for that fucking game. Oh, it's such a stupid fucking game.
well, didn't they have like Pokemon Channel?
It was
or
a piece of
Yeah,
shit.
we don't listen.
The
I don't
game was a
even
piece of shit.
listen.
Pokemon Channel 2?
The microphone was shit, man. It never worked.
Yeah, when I
so
heard that,
bad.
hey you, like a different Pokemon, hey you Mewtwo, hey you whatever.
No,
No,
my
there's a
mother
reason.
got tired of me screaming Pikachu's name in the house and almost broke my N64.
Pikachu.
She was like,
so-
"Shut." Don't go on there. She said, "Shut the fuck up." I was like, "Whoa."
Better than yelling Seaman. Seaman.
Yeah.
Oh,
I tried to play that.
The
Like,
Dreamcast.
parents go to bed, and I'm in my room, like, God, I want to try Seaman, but every time I get to play it,
Oh, the
I'm trying to-
Seaman.
you just gotta give it a shot.
whisper
Man.
in the
Just give it
microphone.
one try. Just one time. See what happens.
What were they thinking naming it that? What were they thinking? There's little tadpoles too. It's like it's just like
Have you seen the AVGN's video on it? Because it's so hilarious.
hilarious. I saw it. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
One of the best videos.
Leonard Nimoy, man.
And that was like the only game that used that microphone on the Dreamcast. And
Yep.
it's so
Pretty
stupid.
much, I think. Yeah.
Oh, Christ.
So I have to say, I just got to add this. I'm looking up now conduit stuff and high voltage stuff. There was a conduit HD released on Android phones.
Yep.
Did you guys know that? What the
Mhm.
hell?
Wow, I didn't know that.
I did not know that at all.
It's still a boring interior corridor shooter,
Sure.
Yeah, it's
but it looks
2 was the better game.
a lot better on the.
yeah, 2 was better. 2 had pretty good multiplayer online.
It did. I played that quite a bit, actually.
Yeah.
And the grinder, it's weird. If you go to the Wikipedia page, it talks about it like it's still in development. But it sure as shit can't be. And it's not on high
That's
voltage
because you
page.
keep editing it so they don't have to
Damn.
realize the truth.
Yeah.
It's time to let it go and walk away.
No, you can't make me, damn it.
All right, Brownie Takeshi asks, would you rather have a new Kid Icarus game that's a platforming adventure game, or Warrior World 2? What were you playing on your video, to you? What
Yeah,
game?
Warrior World is like
You're
it's not a great game. It's you might be living on nostalgia.
It didn't
The
look good.
Warrior World.
Yeah,
Well, a
I
new one
played
could be
that.
better
I mean,
though.
it's not terrible, but it's not up to Nintendo standards as far as platforms.
Wait, which
go.
one is
think
which one is
Treasure
Wario World? Or is that Wario Land, the one on the GameCube?
No, it's Wario World, the GameCube one. It's called
Oh,
Wario.
that was
World.
Wario World. What's
Yeah.
Wario Land? Isn't that a game?
That was on the
Those are
Game Boy.
Advance and
Okay.
yeah.
I rented Wario World and I didn't. I only played a little bit. I was like, yeah, I'm good.
Why,
I'm good.
there wasn't enough
It's a little
females.
slippery on the controls. It's kind of monotonous. The gameplay gets
It
boring.
looked really
Kinda quick.
boring. So
Um,
Kid Icarus platforming
Yeah, I definitely see-
adventure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
could.
definitely, yeah,
That'd be
definitely
awesome.
could.
I need
Sorry,
more of my
Wario.
white food, damn it. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm one of those
WarioWare
people-
games, they're awesome. Wario, even Wario, what's Wario Land
Moves
Shake?
was- Oh yeah,
Mhm.
Or WarioWare Smooth Moves.
I'll take
Or- yeah.
WarioWare. Yeah, any one of them. They're
I'm
all
still
good.
waiting for my Waluigi game. That's what I want.
Wow,
Bring it on.
no,
Bring it on,
no.
Nintendo. We're ready.
Yeah, I
I
kind
already
of
got
want
that. It's called Wario World for the GameCube.
Waluigi.
Not gonna be any better than that.
Waluigi's
I want the Waluigi dick shot that he
Waluigi's
does in
Mansion,
what game is that? Sluggers?
Oh, Super Mario Sluggers.
Yeah,
Mario
Waluigi's victory
Super
animations like the
Oh
crotch
my
shot.
gosh.
It was ridiculous.
Look
at my
Seaman.
All right, which of these 4 classics would you like to get updated for the Switch? Wrecking Crew, the old school Donkey Kong, Balloon Fight, or Arcade Mario Brothers? I'm gonna say none.
None.
Like just sequels to that? Is that what he's asking?
Yeah, get updated for the Switch.
I want
None
an
of those sounded
open
appealing at
world
all.
Wrecking Crew. Imagine.
Yeah, I feel like that'd be fun.
What would you do to Wrecking Crew? Like
I
modern?
turn to
What
a
would you-
open world game where I go around and break shit.
They already
Mm.
tried a balloon fight on the Nintendo Land, and it was okay, but
It's fun for You know, a
Old
couple
school
of minutes
Donkey
here and there.
Kong?
But
In VR?
I feel like there are just better old school games that you could redo, but
Yeah.
maybe that's the point of the question.
I don't
So I don't know.
really like any of those, honestly.
no, I don't like any of
I'll
those
say the
choices.
Donkey
They'd have
Kong.
to be almost rebooted in a way.
Those
Yeah, I'm
are
gonna go
games
with
of their
Rocket
time.
League.
You don't really, you
Yeah.
can't update them
Pong-
without
which-
completely
which-
changing them.
Which classic do you want to see updated? Pong, Pac-Man.
Defender wouldn't be interesting.
Defender. Hey now.
Yeah.
Well, they
I want
did
a
a
new I want
Defender
a
on
new.
the
I want a
PS2.
2017 Galaga. God damn it!
Well, they got Defender on PS4. What's that game called?
No, they did
very much like
Defender
You talking
Defender.
about Nano
on the
Assault?
6th gen. They
No,
did
not
Defender.
Nano Assault.
Oh, the one where
Came
it,
out.
damn it.
It's like a bullet hell game. What is it
Resogun,
called?
Resogun, right? That looks a
Reso
lot
something.
like.
Is it Resogun?
Oh yeah, it did.
See, how did
Defender
you
would
forget
be.
the name of that? You used to call people Rezo hoes.
I know. Well, it's not my word. I got that from Doc Trey.
Yeah, that was a lot
Resogun.
of,
That's the game. It looks a lot like Defender. What Defender would be today.
Yeah.
All right, so that's gonna be it for the questions, and just wanted to again remind people Mario Kart 8 tournament is gonna start Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern time. I'll have the details. I'll have if you raced it before and have that code saved, it's gonna be the same one I always used to use.
Will that be on the Wii U or the Switch?
It's gonna be the Wii U.
Wait a minute.
The online's great on Mario Kart 8. I don't care what anybody says, and
You liars!
Hashtag he's in denial, man. He's in denial.
so yeah. But let's get the final thoughts here, and let's wrap this up. So we'll start with Terrell.
Good podcast. I just bought me a Steam game. For my anime fans who watch this, I bought One Piece Burning Blood on Steam. So if you want to add me on that, I'll post my Steam name in the comments after this is done. Fun podcast, like reminiscing about the Wii U. PlayStation fucking up as usual, right, guys? That's how it goes, right? Microsoft is king and PlayStation is ass, apparently. Anyways, beat Pokemon Sun. I'm probably going to start a new playthrough on Pokemon Moon because I'm a whore and I can't walk away from it.
Mm-hmm.
I probably won't be in this week's Mario Kart 8 tournament because it probably is going to start when the Game Awards happen. And I kind of want to watch that, especially because of that whole Zelda announcement. So,
Man.
Yeah, man.
That's part of the reason I put it on Thursday was because
oh, so you
I'm
intentionally
boycotting.
Oh, you're wow.
Oh, you boycott.
Who cares? Just let it be what it is.
After last year wasted 2 hours of my life, I'm not gonna.
What?
They need to
Last
have
year
a-
was
That was
also when Reggie
hilarious.
talked about Iwata. Wasn't that last year?
that was
Yeah.
the only good thing. Literally the only good thing.
Well, no, Splatoon won Best Shooter.
I
Yeah,
remember that.
No one cared.
When we did that
Don't care.
podcast, that
Oh,
was
people were
hilarious.
salty, T. People were so salty when they heard that shit.
I guess people were upset.
No, you knew that.
No, I'm just saying I didn't really care that it won. Is what I'm saying.
Oh,
Yeah, the winning part. I mean, just the show itself was just. It was. Remember this bad singing and song that had the dude with like the lights. It was.
He did a Street Fighter.
It got weird.
Yeah. It was lame.
cocaine's a hell of a drug.
So yeah. That's kind of why I'm having it Thursday.
Okay.
I wanna race Mario Kart instead of watch. You know, if it's a good show like the 2 years ago, then I'll watch.
You can catch it later. It ain't like it's going anywhere. So.
And,
No,
but
this is the
anyway,
only time. Just one time show. Never again.
We'll go to Rob next. Final thoughts.
Yeah, this was an awesome podcast. I agree. Talking about the Wii U stuff was really exciting, and it just makes me realize it confirms what I already knew, and that I just freaking love the console so much. And I'm so sad it was a commercial failure, but still made it a great machine, and I loved it, and I'll miss it. So I'm still in love with Watch Dogs 2. I cannot stress to people how surprisingly excellent that game is. So polished. It's the polish that just blows me away in that game. And the size of San Francisco, it's really fun to run around. Also, I've randomly been, I was turned on to this game by one of my really good buddies, my bandmates, and I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but it's called Trackmania on the PlayStation 4.
Oh, yeah, Trackmania Turbo.
Yes. Have you played it?
Yeah, I have it on PS4.
Oh my freaking God. It's incredible. It is so addictive. It's like if Mario Kart and a dash of F-Zero met like NASCAR racing is kind of what it's like, and it's totally arcadey, and it's over the top, and it is so freaking fun. So for anyone out there, it's like on sale for $15 right now. After months of bugging me, one of my bandmates, he was like, dude, please play this game so we can play it. And I bought it on Thanksgiving Day when they were all over here, and it's incredible. So major props to Trackmania. And I am really overwhelmed with 4 games coming out in the next couple of weeks. And I think I'm going to buy 2 of them, and I don't know which ones. I do want Final Fantasy. I really want Dead Rising 4, Steep, which I'm probably for sure going to buy, and Last Guardian. All of those games, the last games of the year, come out in the next freaking week or 2.
I thought Steep was next year.
No, it's December 2nd. It's like in a couple days.
It's ridiculous.
Damn, that's
weird.
Friday. Holy shit.
Yeah, it caught me off guard too. But my brother texted me about it because he played the beta and said it was really good, and he knows I'm a snowboarder, so he's like, "Dude, you should try it." And I was like, "I'm down." So I don't know, man, all these games, but it's a good problem to have. And beyond that, I love the Wii U, and I can't wait for the Switch. So that's it.
All right, Ms. the T.
Yeah, great podcast. It's really cool. Every time I think we're not going to have much to talk about, we end up having a really good discussion.
I know.
And it's awesome. It's just a testament to how good this damn podcast is. One of the best Nintendo podcasts on the YouTubes. No doubt about that. What was that, a seal? We got rabbits, we got seamen and seals. And
Oh my god!
All kind of animals.
we done did it.
Yeah, so not much left to say, but another good one, Damies, Sadate. And if you get that reference, you win yourself a sealed copy of Skyrim on 360. Peace out.
All right, Robert, what movies did you see since the last podcast?
So I do want to say hashtag seal semen.
Oh my god!
No, that's a good hashtag.
Oh my god!
What was the one you
Why
said at the
about
beginning,
dick
Juice?
jokes?
That's what it's got to be.
Is that even a thing?
Don't
It's called
ask, 'cause you will
sealed.
find out.
Oh my goodness!
Spell it the right way, folks.
And then I did see Fantastic Beasts again. I love that movie. It's so good. I saw Moana. Very good movie too. Definitely
I wanna see
recommend it.
Yeah.
Got my Rogue One tickets, people, and I can't wait for that. And I'm trying to beat Paper Mario Color Splash, but I was ridiculously busy over the weekend.
Watching movies that you already seen 10 times.
But also just because of work and Thanksgiving family stuff, you know.
Mhm.
And good people and shit.
And yeah, but I want to be Paper Mario so bad. I gotta just sit one day and just play that because I'm so close. It's ridiculous.
But not today.
But yeah, not today. But yeah. That's
Okay.
That's it.
All right, my
For
final
sure.
thoughts are I hope that Shantae and the Half Genie Hero well, they turned it into, Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, Steam, whatever, for approval.
That's gold.
I'm hoping that shit gets approved, and pretty sure they said they want to do a simultaneous across all platforms, so if one of them holds it up, I think it's going to hold them all up, unfortunately. And Nintendo is usually the most stingent on that kind of stuff, so hopefully they don't.
Bastards.
Hopefully that game
Come
comes
on,
out in
Nintendo.
December.
I need it.
I mean, I'll get it on whatever. If it came out first on something, I'd get it on whatever came on first. But I was really looking forward to playing that game, getting me through like December or November into December, and didn't happen. So hopefully that comes out this year.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And that's the one that's getting a physical copy, right?
yep,
Yeah.
Okay.
for $30, the physical. I think
Yeah, I
the
want to buy
digital's
that
gonna be-
too, actually.
But yeah, I'm a PS4 owner, everybody.
Now
It's
it's
green, right? We're both PS4 owners.
Here's a golf clap.
I wish I felt good about it.
Sony Pony Juice.
I wish I felt good about it. I could buy Assassin's Creed Syndicate for $11 right now, brand new.
Now,
Wow.
don't go crazy.
No, you
Calm
can't. You
down.
don't want to do
Hey,
that.
listen, don't start wasting money now.
You know what I'm
No,
saying?
I'm just kidding. That one
You
jumped
already
out.
spent $200. You don't make another mistake.
Yeah, that I would never buy that game. So, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Definitely do the Resident Evil 7 demo thing because what sold me on that was Rob saying the sound effects were amazing. So
Yes.
that's the main reason I wanted to try it. And then Gravity Rush 2 looked pretty cool. That comes out in January, I think.
I want your first impressions on that juice, damn it.
Mhm.
On what, Resident Evil or
No.
Gravity Rush.
Gravity
Okay.
Rush.
I'm thinking about trying the remastered one first, but
I mean, that's fine. I
that
haven't
was a
played.
PS Vita game, and I don't think you need to play the first one. We'll see. But it just has a really cool art style. It looks like a unique gameplay
Right.
mechanic. But yeah, it definitely feels a little weird. I'm not exactly sure my where I'm going to hook it up and stuff and all that. But yeah, so next week I'll give some impressions on that. And like T said, I didn't think we'd have anything to talk about today, and we had a great discussion. It's good to talk about the Wii U and stuff. And it's been a quick 4 years, really. I mean, I remember desperately waiting for 3D World to release, just desperately. Couldn't wait 2-3 months, you know. It just felt like forever, and now it's been 3 years. It's just crazy.
Time, man.
And time is a bitch.
Someday we're going to be saying that about Breath of the Wild and the Switch and all that. It's just
That's so true. Well, think about it. We talked about this before. We're already on the other side of all the NX rumors, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I thought that was going to go for an eternity. It's insane that's no more.
I mean, we're a month away from the new year. We got to consider I don't know if you guys want to do your own videos. I got to do some end of the year, game of the year type stuff, and maybe
I can do both.
Maybe favorite movies of the year podcast or something.
I won't be in that one. I'll be taking a nap.
We'll see. But
tell these young gamers, man, to slow down, man. Before you know, you're gonna have gray hairs on your baby nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Gray hairs on your baby nuts. I didn't even know how that's possible.
Holy shit! Damn.
So with that, we're gonna call it quits on the podcast. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I exited out of the chat pretty quick into it because there was a troll jumped in and I couldn't. The remove user function wasn't working, so I don't know what I missed in there.
Mm-hmm.
It was getting pretty ridiculous. Somebody that's like a stalker of mine jumped on and
get a life, man. Get a life.
That happens, yeah. GTFO.
But to the loyal Juices Loose live viewers, I always appreciate it, and thanks for tuning in every week. Hopefully this one was a good one for you and everyone else that watches this on the replay. If you made it this far, all the way through, you know, props to you. Leave your question or leave comments down below, and we'll see you next week.